Monster juice, it's out of feeling so alive. Coffee in the morning, it's the best way to survive. Woke up in the morning, sleepy eyes yawning. Jumped out of bed, started the day, opened the curtains. Felt the cool breeze, the sun shining on my face. But something was missing, I needed my job to chase. Give me coffee in the morning, give me coffee in the morning. Gotta have a coffee, wake me up, shake me up, dip me like a lassie. 1 sip, 2 sips, and I'm feeling so alive. Coffee in the morning, it's the best way to survive. Give me.
Oops. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Salty. It is Monday, isn't it?
I guess so. I forgot that it was until that happened. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. It is a Monday. So welcome in, everybody. Sorry if y'all are a little confused. I did have it set up all through Restream for a long time now. Hang on, Firefly, you just confused me. Can you hear me? Go to the Discord, and the new link is there under, it says new link. It's the StreamYard link. Yeah, so anyway, I had it all set up for Restream, and then I go in, to start the show, and there was an error being displayed. I guess it wasn't being connected to their server or whatever. They're having an issue on their end. So last minute, I had to scrap. At least I have a backup, right?
Yes. Yeah. I don't think I do. I think if StreamYard screwed me, I think I'd be screwed.
Yeah, and I haven't had any issues with the Restream doing that until this morning. I was like, is it my internet? Like, no, internet's fine. So yeah, you might want to think about that. Get you a backup going just in case.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah, you never know when you're going to have technical difficulties. Oh, sorry, I was looking at chat. Y'all over there talking about coffee this morning. I've had coffee. Let's see. Let me see if Firefly could hear me. Let me go to the disc.
I decided to go with cappuccino this morning. I usually don't because I don't need the sugar, but this morning I needed something a little sweet.
I bought some new creamer yesterday. I haven't tried yet. I guess it was in celebration of Love Day. It's got like Valentine's stuff on it, but it was chocolate with strawberries, and I'm like, I got to try some of that. I haven't tried it yet. When I first
Those
had
are two things I like.
Really, yeah, I like them too. My first cup of coffee in the morning's got to be regular old coffee. But later in the day I might try. But yeah, I'm gonna make me another pot here soon and try that out. Hang on, I'm just typing back something.
Don't forget to hit the like button, people.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. If you guys could, trying to get those likes up there to go along with the number of views. So they're not exactly lining up, but I appreciate the ones who do come in and who do hit it. It really does help. Because I don't pay a lot of attention to some of the things I probably should pay attention to because I don't think about them a lot. But I was messing around in my YouTube studio, and I noticed that it's welcome in, Firefly. Welcome in now. You found us now.
Oh yeah, it took me a minute to figure out this new.
Yeah, I used to use StreamYard all the time. Then I started using the Restream, but so now I had to go to the backup because for some reason I was having technical difficulties getting Restream to even work. It let me set everything up this morning, but then it wouldn't let me do anything once I got in there to go live. But anyway.
Good morning, Firefly.
Yeah.
Good morning.
We got I forgot what I was saying a second ago. All right, Pokemama's in here. Joe Schmo, Forrest, welcome in. Both of my most awesome mods, Firefly. Um, Hopefully, people will start to find us here in a few minutes. Good morning, JC. Welcome in. Um, the other day, when we were going through some of the latest documents and they were naming the list of all of the financial spots they were hitting, the camera locations that they were talking about, as far as the state's witness stuff goes. So of course it got us all thinking, well, where are all these cameras located? And I started looking at them really good when I got back yesterday from having lunch with the kids and everything. And I was like, okay, so I'm going to do my little dive into this now. And I started realizing some things. I was like, whoa. So I started making some maps and doing some things we're going to go over. And as far as what some of these the camera footages they do have, as to what they might pertain to and who. They're not all about Brian Kohberger. Some of them are absolutely going to be tracking Maddie and Kaylee's movements from the corner club down to the grub truck that night. And I can show you on the map where these spots are located in correlation with where they were walking. Because most of you have seen the video. Firefly, I know you have. Joe, I'm not sure if you have, where the girls are walking from the corner club bar down to the grub truck and their friend is with them, and they're talking as they pass by one of the cameras, the CCTV
I
footage.
think I just saw the grub truck video after that. I don't think I saw the in-between video.
Okay, yeah. I have that. I need to make sure I do have that set up. It's worth taking a look at as we're looking at the map where some of these locations will be. But the girls walked. Maddie and Kaylee left the corner club, and it's a 7-minute walk basically down to where the grub truck was at. And at least 3 of these camera locations they mentioned are along that path. So I'm assuming they're of the girls walking from grub truck down from corner club down to the grub truck. So we'll take a look at all.
So the only one I remember seeing is the one supposedly where they're walking by the bank and they say, Maddie, what did you tell Adam? And I told him everything. And
when I show you, okay, that's Main Street, right?
Yeah.
And they had to, and these other camera locations that I'm going to show you on the maps are
okay, cool.
They're all right there.
You've been doing some work, like you've been putting in.
I do. There's I'm not live streaming, or I don't chill out in too many other chats because I just.
Dolphin and I were wondering last night what you were doing. Like I knew you were planning something in the works, because I heard you saying you were gonna stream today. So I'm like, I don't know what you were doing, but all those documents tell a story if you put it together like on a sheet and look at it. It's like, okay, like Friday we looked. It's like that whole shopping center there. Like
we're gonna take another look at
surveys for almost every shop there. So it tells a story.
It does. We're gonna take another look at that and pinpoint some. And that is still what it is. I think surveilling. Was he surveilling them from that location type of thing? Because there's not too many cameras from right there. A couple, but most of it is like looking at the financials of what they bought when they went to these stores as well. But things like the bagel shop and the Cafe Artista, those are all along the path of Main Street. This Farmers Insurance, the Cafe Artista is sitting right next to the restaurant where Maddie worked. The name just left me of where she worked, the Greek.
Mad Greek.
Yeah. Farmers Insurance is sitting right across the street almost from that same location, all leading down toward the grub truck. I'm going to show you guys these locations. And I also think the Sunset Mart Moscow that the lady took, the gas station attendant. I know everybody has their thoughts on where that could have been, but if you look at where that's located on the map, and it's actually listed in the court document as what they're going to be a video that they're going to have into evidence. So I went and looked exactly where that was at. There's two listed. One's in Moscow, one's over in Pullman. Both see something, and they see something at different times. And it's the same person's car, or it's the same car, allegedly. So we'll see. I'll show you guys where those were all at on the maps. There's, there's been a lot of chatter, and I don't even like to buy into any of it or go, like, I don't care what, I do care, but at some point I do not care what other creators are out there saying and doing, because who am I to say y'all need to stop it, or who am I to tell them they're not smart, or who am I to tell them don't listen to people, but when they start using other creators to make a point of how smart they are, then I got to question your maturity. And when you flip from 1,000,000% this guy's innocent to 1,000,000% this guy's guilty without any rhyme or reason as to why you've done that, and then you want to come out and say things like, I was berated when you weren't. Apology was sent out after that. Never heard a word back. Then you go and clip the parts you said you were berated in just to use to go make a video to prove your point about a damn dog. A dog that doesn't make any difference in this case anymore.
It's just petty.
It's petty, and I'm over it. But also there's because I'm trying to pinpoint actual stuff, right, that in these documents and what we can learn from them. So there was some talk, and it was talked about again yesterday evening, I should say. And I don't really care the whole the whole conversation. None of that stuff bothers me. What I do want to talk about out of the whole thing, though, was because it's been mentioned twice now, is thinking that there's a possibility the guy seen on the 1320 Linda Lane footage at the dumpster could be Bryan Kohberger. And I don't buy it because there's two reasons. The time is off. The timing is completely off. But the person that showed up at the dumpster, and I have the time, I can literally tell when the person steps off Taylor Ave and it's hard to see unless you zoom in. But you can see them hit the sidewalk right there on that street on Blake, right? Come all the way down. They step off the sidewalk into the road, and they continue to walk. The person lights a cigarette. This person is wearing a very light colored hoodie. It's either white, gray. It's not black. It's not dark. It is completely light colored. You can really see it. And they're smoking a cigarette all the way down toward that dumpster. And after they throw whatever they throw in there and they walk away toward the Queen Road apartments, they're still smoking their cigarette. We don't think Bryan Kohberger smoked cigarettes, do we?
Not that I know of. Never heard.
No, we haven't heard any.
The thing is, there's hundreds of people that live in that general area. Why does it have to be him? It could just be some random person.
I mean, it's worth the conversation if you're actually wanting to have a conversation. But if you're wanting to come out and tell people you died, you undeniably know that.
No.
Without any kind of proof. And I watched the video very closely last night, even looking off to the right to the street over. Could I see anybody park that might have had time to get out of a car and then walk down Taylor onto I looked at it because I'm
what
not.
What time is that video at?
At 3:13, the person will enter the frame. I'll pull it up in a little bit and I'll show you.
3:13.
But you can also see, and I'll show you the next road over. You can see through the woods. It's not really woods. It's like the houses there. And there's lots of trees. But you can see that road, and you can see car lights coming and going. You don't see anybody pull in and park around that area and then see a person appear walking. But what throws me off about that whole, even if I did see that, this person still approaching that dumpster is smoking a cigarette. Mm-hmm. And they are very tall, and they're extremely lanky, in my opinion, because they appear to have very long arms. I have a tall, lanky son. I know. He just appeared that way to me, to be a lankier person. But he has on a very light colored hoodie. Nothing about it is dark at all. Chef, I was just reading your comment there. Jeff says, for that guy to have put something in or taking something out of the dumpster, he would have needed a third arm. He has a phone and a flashlight in one hand. Yeah, but the implication was not exactly that may have been thrown. Well, they did kind of imply something may have been thrown in there, and that was the rush to grab the dumpsters by the dumpster people. But it was as if they were. I think the theory was. Sorry, I didn't know that was on. I think the theory was the person parked, gets out, walks toward that dumpster, and then walks toward Queen Road Apartments to go surveil on foot. But that was still long before the cars spotted entering the neighborhood at 329. So I don't know, what did you guys thought about that? How many thought that was a possibility he could be because I'm still open to he could be that's still a possibility. But when you evaluate everything for what it is, it doesn't appear that way to me.
No, and we kind of took a little bit of a dive into that one night, just a little bit, so we could see where the camera angle was from that. Mm-hmm. And it looks to me like he's going to one of those apartments that's up on the top of the hill, not like continue on down. Like that would be an inconvenient route. Not that killers can't take inconvenient routes, but it didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But that's just me.
Well, I mean, you're already taking a risk about they're driving around in your car, right? You're going to get out and walk around and take a risk of being, I don't know. It doesn't play in my mind. Now they could have changed their sweater or hoodie, to a dark one, but
listen, like if the guy probably flicked his cigarette on the ground. If you're going to do a crime, you're not going to flick your cigarette on the ground where somebody could pick it up surreptitiously.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like it's just a random guy.
You know better, right?
Yeah.
Especially better.
It's a conflicting character image of somebody who was so meticulous in the crime scene, and the only thing they left behind was a sheath, but they're going to leave behind a cigarette butt. No, that doesn't. It's conflicting with the other theories that are out there.
Yeah, this is true. It's just. Oh, let me get this down. I got to slide this over before I can start pulling up anything to present. I was reading comments again. 12 Gauge said he had seen a live a while back that it could have been one of the guys from the MIP3.
What's that? That's why I couldn't figure out that.
Yeah, what is MIP3? Is that I don't really see it, but anything is possible.
Mission Impossible. It was a British secret agent.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I'm out of the loop. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm like, okay.
No, I'm kidding.
Oh, well, I mean, it fits.
Okay, y'all stop it.
See, I'm gullible.
Banfield guys. He said it could have been
3 guys on Banfield. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, this guy was just walking around all by himself. Like he literally came off Taylor Avenue and turned onto that street. You can see him when he makes the turn onto the street. Like I said, he walks down the sidewalk a little bit, and then he steps off.
Oh, sorry, Jeff. Jeff has said on his channel he has a dumpster guy zoomed in 2400%, so you can see him really well and hear his guitar solo.
Oh my God, Jeff, do you have him coming into the frame from Taylor Avenue, zoomed in? Could you find that spot? Because it was really hard to see, but I seen it. I was like, wait, there he is. He pops out of nowhere. Because I was like, I can't. Because if you just watch it to be watching it like the first time, you can't tell the guy's there until he lights that cigarette, and you can really start to see him. But if you're watching, that's when you can tell. And I was like, I got to find out when this guy actually enters this frame and from where. Did he come from between houses? Did he come from the street? I had to know, but I figured it out. I was like, I had to know. Let me pull up that video. Kind of turned cold again here in Florida. I'm like just so sick of March.
Yeah, it's raining. I didn't expect it to be raining today.
Yeah, it's cloudy here. Okay, let me pull it up here. I'll get you in a minute, Steve. Hold on.
It's going to be sunny and 81 here in the valley. I'm going to have to go catch me some vitamin D later.
81. Wow, that's nice.
Okay, let me look at my timestamp page. Where'd it go? Ah. Up there he is. He's already up there. Okay. Let me get this. Oh, wait, shit. I'm on a whole different platform and I forgot where everything's at. Oh. Okay, so this is the video. And it's really way back here where my pointer is. If you guys can see me way down here, this is where the guy comes off of T. It's going to be hard to see on this because I don't have it. I can't zoom in any closer here. But he'll come in off of Taylor and turn onto this sidewalk and start walking down this. And he gets about right here. He'll step off into the actual street and then go toward the dumpster. Let me make sure I have my timestamp right. Yeah. He's already coming down the road. He's going to be right about here, if you guys can see my pointer. So you can't hardly see him coming off the highway onto, there he is, lighting a cigarette. Do you see that? And now he's approaching the dumpster still. He's right here. Mm-hmm. You can see he's got a light colored hoodie or jacket or whatever he's wearing.
Yep.
And he appears to be a taller guy to me. Now, I could be, remember, this is an incline. I got a picture, some pictures I have found that shows the inclines of this area. But see, he's, like Jeff said, he's got a flashlight. He's fooling around down there. Takes a second. He's still got the flashlight, as you can see. And that wasn't
Why is it?
Flashlight.
Or his phone. Is it a flashlight or his phone?
Well,
why is he stopping in front of the dumpster, though? That's curious behavior.
Yeah, that's why people are suspicious.
Well, that we don't know. I mean, honestly, it could have been throwing away empty pack of cigarettes. Maybe he wasn't a littering person. Who knows? But that, to me, that's a strong flashlight for a cell phone flashlight. I could be dead wrong, but when I know when I'm outside, a light, my flashlight on my phone versus my real flashlight's very different, right? You know, a light. So I don't know. To me, it looked like it was a brighter light in the way it shined as he walked away from the dumpster. But we don't know what he was doing back there, Joe. Yeah. So let's see. He'll continue to walk around. See, he's got something in his hand, though. And he's still got that's a cigarette because he's going to hit that cigarette again. Yep. You can see it light up.
So from an orientation standpoint, this camera is pointing northeast, north by northeast.
Yeah, and this road right here is Taylor Avenue.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's right next door to where the other video of the suspect vehicle 1 is seen, circling its prey.
Right. So he's walking south towards the dumpster, and then he turns and goes 90 degrees to the west towards those apartment buildings over there that are up on the higher elevation.
Yes. And that's the camera that captures the suspect vehicle 1 down there in that parking lot. It all sits next to the King Road house. And so he, then he walks out of the frame here over there. Now, apparently he can be seen, 313, Jeff, you're right. Apparently he can be seen over on the other Linda Lane footage.
Yes.
I never saw him. Did you see it, Firefly?
Yeah, he comes out of the right side of the frame and goes across.
So it would have to be around the same timestamp, though. Mm-hmm. This is 3:15 on this one. As far as the time, 3:15:03 is when he walked away. Yeah, but I don't buy that. I just don't think that's Kohberger.
No, because he was in his car allegedly at this point, right? Driving.
Well, he didn't come into the neighborhood until 3:29. That's the first.
Yeah. So how would he get way over? Where's his car at this time? If
You
that's him.
see here on the right side of the screen. Let me
Mhm.
back it up just a little bit to show you guys some context here.
Because at 3:25, he's supposed to be at what, Steiner and somewhere.
Yeah, I got all that wrote down on my timesheet here.
I don't think
See,
there'd be
but
enough
back
time.
here, you can see that you can even see cars in this back area closer to the this side,
Mhm.
and then when they come and go, you can see cars that move around back through here. And that's where I was looking to see, did anybody park? Did lights go out or anything like that? And I never could see anything other than this person appeared to walk down Taylor and take a right onto that sidewalk, or excuse me, it would be a left onto that sidewalk. Right, Jeff says he could easily be that guy. I know, right? If I see something good, I might stop and get it my damn self. You don't put free shit.
Oh, and college students are going to dumpster dive a lot too. I mean, some of them. That's.
Well, yeah, it looked like he was putting stuff in the dumpster. I mean, maybe it was his empty bottle from his pocket, or the empty cigarette pack or whatever. Who knows what the guy was doing? He could have been a random guy walking from one house to another and throwing away my stuff on the way in. Who knows? But I don't know. I just wanted to take a look at it because I just don't think that's him. Sinead, welcome in. You're between school run. Oh, well, thanks for popping in to say hey. You be safe out there. I used to have to do all that, so I know how that feels. Getting that morning going. Welcome in, Brightwill. Good to see you again. Okay. He continues his walk into the 1330 Linda Lane camera, walking on the other side of that fence. Oh, okay. Yeah, see, I didn't deep dive it enough to look at all that because I was looking at other stuff. Okay, so if you guys remember, we had that document drop that listed all of the interesting things that the prosecution was going to be using. There was a list of surveillance footage they were going to be using. There was that list of the financials records they were looking at, and when we took a closer look at some of those spots, the Joann's Fabrics, the Marshalls, the Petco, the Rite Aid, Ross, Target, and Ulta Beauty, we all know they were in the same shopping center. So I'm sorry, I had too many maps saved this morning. I'm trying to find the right one. Right here. Let me pull this one up. Present. I'm like, where's my buttons? No, I don't want extra camera, share screen. I made that mistake one time and hit that button. Didn't know what to do after that. It confused it. Dolphin must be asleep this morning, huh?
Probably. She stays up playing sometimes.
Yeah, she stay up late. I never can get. I don't like the way they do this over here when you're trying to get the right layout. It's funky. I don't like it compared to. Okay, so we're going to take a trip back over here. You need to get out of the way, please. Let me back. Oh, there's a Mr. Windshields in case y'all need your windshields taken care of. It still messed me up when I clicked the wrong thing. Okay, get out of my way. God dang, that thing gets on my nerves. Okay. It really does.
I guess that black box has to stay open, it looks like.
It looks like it does. Okay, guys. Remember when we were looking at this map the other day, because you got the Winco here, and that's the foods. And then over here you have the Michaels, the Ulta, the Rite Aid. All of that is right there together. And then down here on the other end, you have the Marshalls. froze up on me. So yeah, let me get it go all the way down here. We had the Ross was in there. The Rite Aid is down here. The Rite Aid was back up there. So here was the Petco, the Marshalls, the Target. There's a CVS inside of their Target. The Ross is back down here, and the Dick's, well, not officially called Dick's Sporting Goods. It was called something else. There's a restaurant there that was closed, and then here was, when you look up the Dick's Sporting Goods for here, this is what shows up, is the Big Five, and all of that's in that same shopping center where the stop had occurred, the police stop that they listed that they were going to be using. So a lot of, so we went over that, or how they were going to use that police stop that happened right out here at the corner of Farm Road, and all the different things they were going to be using from within the shopping center of where that stop was located, which are, super interesting to those of us wondering, why are they looking so hard at this complex when we know that police stop occurred right here? And if you look up, there's a lot of cameras right here. There's cameras all over this intersection, and it was nighttime when that car was stopped. So I don't know. And that, look, Joann's is located in this as well, and they were also brought up in the financials. So that's the first map that I wanted to go back over it with you guys in case you weren't here the other day. Panda Express, you just got one. They have them all over here. I don't eat at those places. Those not my kind of food.
We got bad rice from a Panda Express once that they apparently hadn't.
Bad rice.
Yes, they didn't use proper food safety precautions, and it was left over from the day before, and it made a couple people in the family ill. So I will never eat at Panda Express again.
Oh no!
I've managed a restaurant for too many years. Food handling safety is your utmost number one priority. It should be.
Yeah, I used to be ServSafe certified restaurant manager level, and I let it lapse because I don't work in food service anymore, but I still practice those things.
My kid's had his since he was 15. He's 18. He's he's so picky, but his dad runs a big restaurant, and I was in restaurant management for years. So it's what he's like. He's got his too, but he works in a restaurant now. But yeah, food safety. I'm such a restaurant snob. I shouldn't have managed one for so long. Maybe it wouldn't be so bad.
Right. Like at Olive Garden, when they go around with that little Parmesan cheese grater thingy, and then they put it down on the bussing tray that's next to your table where other people's dirty dishes are sitting on it. I'm like,
I don't even want to think about it. You won't go out to eat ever again if you think too much about it.
Like, shut up. Okay. Let me pull this screen up.
It's like you say, food safety is so important. Like, people get sick so easily. And it's just like in other jobs that I've had, not related to food, people are so lax. You know what I mean? Like, so, people are probably like that in the food industry too. Like, they don't care.
Yeah, you don't want that. Like, I don't even want you as my employee if I see you have a I don't care attitude. Okay. So they had listed an E&S Services, and I'm like, oh, I got to know where E&S Services is at. Well, wouldn't you know it? So if you go back to the PCA, page 8 of the PCA, in fact, it tells you that hang on, let me get my other page out here. Okay, because I don't want to pull it up. I got this pulled up, so I'm just going to read it to you guys. Okay. So at 5:25 a.m., suspect vehicle 1 is spotted on 5 cameras in Pullman. That includes the campus cameras. I know where 3 of those are. Well, 2 of them actually, and I think 2 of them are in the Pullman. I'm going to show you where those are at, and the other 3 have to be on campus. If they're only listing 5 cameras in the PCA, and then if you look at the ones they put in the Discovery, there's E&S Services and Sunset Mart, and I'm going to show you where those 2 are in relation because they said the one, okay, and the reason I know about the ENS services is because the PCA says the first camera to see a suspect vehicle 1 after 5:25 a.m. was at 1300 at Johnson Road. Well, ENS services sits at 1300 Johnson Road. So this would be our first camera that sees Kohberger when he comes back in from Moscow. And let me zoom all the way out and show you guys something. You're going to see, okay, over here's Moscow, right? And remember our red location there. Remember the route allegedly taken brings you all the way down 95 through Genesee, back over into Washington, up the Uniontown, Colton, Johnson, and all that into the area. So 5 cameras see him, and the first one being this one located over here. Bishop Road is mentioned in the PCA and on other camera footages. So this is Bishop. Bishop leads you right down alongside all of this right here. So if you go and look, Johnson and Bishop intersect right here. All right, so 1300 Johnson Road is here. Right there. And there's allegedly, okay, so if you look right there, you see the camera. Oops. See, the camera's right there. So that would be the first camera.
Is that 2 cameras or is that a shadow?
Okay, it looks like you talking about over here or over
on the right side of the building.
Those look like 2 different ones.
You're seeing the shadow of this long one.
Oh yes, okay, that's what I was asking about. Yep.
And this over.
But there is one pointing different directions, like right. 90 degrees different on both sides. Okay.
Yeah, on each side, and so that camera spots him at 5:25, and that's 1300 Johnson Road. Okay, let me go to the second. Let me pull the other one up. Hold on, I'll show you. Actually, I probably could have just stayed on that map to do it. So their next location was going to be the Sunset Mart in Pullman. Oops, let me get it right here. I got that list saved too that we can look at from the PCA or from that new filing. All right, get out of my way, thingy. This little thing won't go away, and it's like irritate me. I didn't ask that to happen. Why is that not going away? Because that's going to be annoying. If you guys can't see the whole screen, there's no point. I'm going to pull it up a different way. Like my whole little tab to make that thing disappear is gone. Like Okay, let me do it this way. Pull up a whole new one. Okay, there we go. Get the tab out of the way. Okay, present. Share my screen. Okay. So a second ago, we were looking right here, right, at the ENS services, and that was the first camera that they said captured him. Then the next thing they mention is a Sunset Mart camera, which is located here. Don't you think that would be the second camera to see him coming in? If you got your first one over here, you got your first camera here, and then you're driving through here, your second camera is going to be here at the Pullman Sunset Mart.
Yep.
Then if we look,
yep,
right there.
The other side too, maybe.
And I did right like this. I can't even tell like that what that
I
is.
don't know what that is. Yeah.
I looked all the way down here. I came down here and I looked at the gas station, the pumps, and I didn't, if there's anything there, it's going to be like closer to the pumps maybe. But as far as in right here, that's like part of the bit. Like there's a big camera. See it? And that's facing out here to the parking lot. But as far as like right here, there's none on the exterior except that one. See that one?
Yeah.
It's pointing right toward. So that one would be able to see coming this way, which is coming from the ENSJ or ENS services towards this location. So I'm willing to say first location we see him is going to be here at ENS. Second one is going to be here at the Pullman Sunset Mart. Okay, and then if you take a look right up through here, 270 runs right back into here. All this is WSU Pullman now. And it doesn't because when I mapped out the rest of the cameras that stated, none of those were in Pullman except for the ones I just showed you, the two I just showed you. Where the three other specific ones came from on WSU campus, it does not say. But right here, right here is Brian Koberger's apartment. Okay, so.
But it seems like a lot of those, is it Stadium Drive that goes around like a loop around the city, like WSU? It seems like a lot of those intersections have cameras.
They do, but it says in the PCA that there were 5 cameras that spotted him. 3 of those were on WSU campus. So the other 2 it didn't say, but now we do now know one was here at ENS Services. The second one was down at the gas station.
But if he was coming, like, why would he loop around Stadium Way? I would think he would just come up straight 270 and get as close to the Steptoe Apartments as possible to go home.
There's no telling why he does what he does.
That's true. That is true.
Because maybe because it doesn't specify where the other 3 cameras are located other than WSU property. But it's a huge property, right?
Yeah.
So the minute he comes back onto campus property, because even down here you got WSU, and all that's coming in off of Bishop, where that gas station, because you got ENS, then you got the gas station down here, the mart where we saw, and then the other 3 cameras are located all within here somewhere, leading back toward his apartments back here at Steptoe. But like I said, it did not get specific on where those other 3 locations were at. Because I'm trying to put it all together in my head, So now I'm pretty convinced that, like it said, this was if that's true and that's the first camera to see him, then not many cameras saw him once he came through, the route that he took back in allegedly, through the PCA, all through up through Busby, all through here, because all that's so rural. There's not a lot of cameras out there until you get back into town. And look, there's a Harbor Freight right there. So but that's not listed as the first camera in the PCA. But that doesn't mean that there's not a camera there. So you can see it's right there on Bishop as well. So is that one of the cameras that also spots him? But I got to noticing too, if you look, it's on a dead-end street. So do you see what I'm saying? Like, why would they list a Harbor Freight if, like, you must have had to go back there. You know what I mean? Like, just to, let's see if it lets me get all the way back there. Let me get in there, like their parking lot. Or is it going to give me a weird view that I didn't want? Yeah, okay. See, like, you got to come back here to get back here. Like, was it really going to pick up from out there? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If there's a camera, which I know there's cameras, but where are they? And what could they see? Unless you literally went all the way up. There's a grocery outlet, okay, next to it. But it specifically said Harbor Freight in the documents. So I don't know if it's this actual location, because I didn't see a Harbor Freight in Moscow. But what could this camera possibly see? Unless it saw some daytime activity and saw something really good that we, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
It's unless, you know, he was in there specifically purchasing something on a specific day that they found in like financial documents. There was a purchase made there maybe, and that's why they're looking for them. You know, I don't know exactly what the deal is with the Harbor Freight. Oh, almost hit Canva. Like, I'm not trying to make videos right now or anything. Okay, I gotta get the next stuff pulled up. Okay, so now let me see. Okay, it also referred to the Albertsons and the Costco, and those are over in Washington. And if we look, now up here's Moscow, and this would have been that route that he allegedly took, on the way home that night. But if you come this way, you dip in, you come into the Lewiston, Clarkston area. And this is where he came, we know, the following day. And he was also spent some time there. So he was seen at this gas. I'm not going to be able to talk right now. So he was seen back over in this area. Timestamps our phone data and cell phone and car data tells them all that. And this is also the area he came back to the next day when his phone went offline for a couple hours. Mm-hmm. So you get down here, and if you look, there is the Albertsons that they refer to is sitting right here, and right across the street is the Costco that they also refer to. So something on these cameras see him. Either there's cameras that see him, or there's receipts from where he went into the store as well. We know that they did see him going into the one grocery store, and they also, you know, the camera sees him get out of his car, and they also know he made a purchase in there. But so this Albertsons happens to sit across from the Costco, and they were both listed in the witness stuff for the prosecution. And if you look, there's also where'd it go? There's a Walmart not far from here. Mm-hmm. Right there. So yeah, and that's not mentioned. I'm just letting you know there is a Walmart there. We have a Walmart that we know they got a receipt from, but I don't know which Walmart it was from, because we don't hear a lot about the Walmart in a bunch of these documents.
Receipt and surveillance. So that is interesting. Yeah, because I think Dolphin and I were talking about it. We wonder if, you know, that receipt, if they went back at the time and date to look at the cameras to see what he was purchasing. I don't know.
Yeah. You know, you're going to want to know, especially when you look into the bank records and financials of say the day or two or the week leading up. What were you purchasing? Where were you going? And what were you doing? And they can go back and find out all that information at any given time. But I had to go on the map and look and see where these different locations were. Yep. You know? And I wish that we had a better timestamp on when these were actually taken. I know they have dates, like the 13th, but I don't know any more specifics than that. So it's like, we're trying to map out the stuff here. Help us out, But so this was like I said, this was over in Clarkston or Lewiston area that they cite in the PC or in the new documents. that they are interested in. So looking at are they going to establish timeline? You know what wasn't mentioned in the states thing? Kate's Cup of Joe, even though we know in the PCA they have
Right.
him on camera passing by there as well.
The same parking lot though is that kitchen appliance, or I forget what they called it.
Chef
store. Yeah, that's in the same parking lot.
Yes. So then, okay, let me take that one down. Let me pull up my other one here.
Are you on mute? I can't hear you.
Yeah, I was.
Oh, okay. I was like, did I
I
lose
looked down. I was like,
something?
yeah, I am. I'm on mute.
Because I saw your little cursor move, and I'm like, oh, I bet she's talking.
Okay. So this one they had mentioned in the. Let me mark off what I've already done here. Where's my thing? Okay, so they mentioned this one in the PCA, or in the PCA, they mentioned it in a couple of court documents. Anne had, I forget which hearing she brought this one up in, but a lot of people had, a lot of things to say about this particular camera. Now, this camera is located at Floyd's Cannabis Shop, and as we pull out, we can see it's right on the Washington-Idaho line. It's going to be right before you enter Idaho from Washington. And this would be on the route into town, over from WSU Pullman, Steptoe Apartments, which was where Brian Kohberger lived. So you come in on the 270 was the way into town. And this particular camera at Floyd's sees something. Whether in this intersection it's not like a big red light there, and there's some cameras there, but really that's like a light though. You know what I'm saying? There's not like the kind of cameras that were at that other location. And Floyd's is right here.
I was gonna say maybe it's the Floyd's itself that has a camera. No?
Yeah, it's gonna be because
which would make it even blurrier picture of the intersection if it's a car going by.
Never let me, I've tried to get up.
Oh, you can't get in there. Okay.
No, it fights with me every time. I've been trying to get in there for a long time, longer than I should. But this is the site of the location of Floyd's, and it's right on the highway. So what can it see, and how well does it see at night? I don't know. And like I just showed you guys,
defense says it wasn't him in that photo.
Right. They allege that was not him. Another case of mistaken identity. I don't know. I just know that that's one of the cameras cited in the prosecutions, and it is on the way.
Is the timing not right? I forget what they said, why they said it wasn't.
I'm going to have to go back and review that, because in the latest docs, we don't have a time for when this camera frame is like a timestamp on the camera. Right. As far as trying to get timeline, set up, we don't know that part yet.
Had to be shortly after 3 to fit the timeline.
Yeah. Yeah, because the phone goes off at 2:54 if we go by the new adjusted timeline, since everybody's got that big
screen. So I don't know how long it would take to get to Floyd's, but about 5 minutes or so.
Probably, if that, right?
Yeah.
And so I would love to know the timestamp on that camera and what it can actually see.
Yep.
Good morning, Leslie and Billy. Truth Exposed. Welcome in, guys. Is Floyd's a chain? I don't know, Pokemon. I don't know. I don't see if they got a website, though. I might have to order me some stuff. I got that just down the street. Okay. So, yeah, I thought that I just wanted to point out where that one was located, because I'm going to get into where these other cameras were at that were interesting. I want to make sure I get the right maps pulled up before I do that. Okay.
I always thought it was strange, Indian Hills Road. Like, why did he take that road? Unless he just had like a map, like a circle, like
I don't know, but that's
Something
going to be,
like
that's the projects in the works. Like, really, I know we've deep dove it so many times, but I really need to kind of like chart it out again and try to figure, because that is some of the things that, like, why?
Unless there's like another house that he could have been surveilling too, like he just like did a circuit around. Let's look at this house. Let's look at that house.
I don't know. I think he would have to make your. I don't know if he would have had more than one house set up or set up for interest. You know what I mean? And like, which one do I go to? Which one's better this night? I don't know. To me, that's a lot of planning if you got to figure out two houses. You know what I mean? Two sets of houses, comings and goings, and things of that nature. Yeah, Indian Hills has a curve where if you park, you overlook the Moscow Police Department, and you can see it.
Yep.
That's probably that's a really good answer, Jeff, because everybody kept wondering why would he go back there? Like, why would he circle his prey so many times on Linda Lane footage, waiting for the moment? So that's a good possibility that he was back there trying to just take a look at things, see how quiet it is, see if they're all there, whatever, surveilling, but the timing of all that's super important. Okay, so I think this one will actually show everybody's everything that I needed to show at the same time, if I don't lose my bearings. Okay. That little box is popping up, getting on my nerves.
Yeah.
Because I want to take us to, hang on, let me do this other one first, because it'll take us to everywhere we need to go all at one map. Okay. I think this is the one I need. Okay. All right. So the location that's showing up red right there, if you go to the website for the grub truck, it tells you their address is 311 South Main Street. That is that address. And the grub truck would be set up out here, right? Along this area. So according to Google Maps and according to the prosecution's list, they listed bagel shop. But when you type in bagel shop, nothing comes up except in Pullman other than a bunch of coffee shops. If you type in bagel shop for Moscow, this is the one that comes up. Moscow Bagel and Deli.
Mm-hmm.
And this camera is sighted, and it sits right here by the grub truck. That's going to see the girls coming.
Across the road, okay.
Right? And then if you scroll down here a little further, there's your Cafe Artista, also mentioned. along the same path of travel that the girls would have been taking that night, walking.
Okay.
As you keep going, company, I think, was the Farmers. Yeah, Farmers Insurance is located right here. Also, camera sighting. And this is going to pick up the girls walking completely down this street. And if you go, because we're headed back toward the Corner Club now. Here's Main Street continued. All the way down through here. And as you get down here, where's the Corner Club? Where did it go? It was right here, but it doesn't show up on this particular map that I have it on the other maps. So they're going to come down Main Street, right? This is actually 95. And let me actually get the other one so I can show you the bigger picture. Here it is. Okay. Okay. So this is the Corner Club. And Highway 95 runs here and Main Street runs here. So all they have to do is cross the street, the highway there, to get to Main Street to start their walk toward the grub truck. And that's when you start coming down the street. And I'm not exactly sure which spot the girls were in that they walked past when they were talking to Jack, but it was along this path. And then if you look at the camera locations, like I said, the bagel shop, the Cafe Artista, the Farmers Insurance, those are all along this path of travel. So I think that those videos are going to actually be the ones that show the girls walking down the street, because there's the cafe again, back down here to the deli, all the way down to where the grub truck was at. So that's not all the camera footages that they were listing are actually going to show Kohberger. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Some of it's going to show what the victim's movements were that night leading up to it. So
it would be really awesome to have some timestamps with those, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and I think eventually, as more comes out in the documents, we might get them. You know, like the judge said, there's a lot of stuff that was being sealed that didn't need to be sealed, and these are steps that are, and that's part of what's led to so much bad speculation. You know, right. A lot of bad speculation out there. Some want to speculate badly. Some are just speculating badly because they don't know any better. Some do it for ulterior motives. You know, but I think a lot of the and there's still a lot of misinformation being put out there. You know, well, look at you, Forrest, 2 months with me. Look at you go. That's awesome. I'm so glad you're here. I couldn't do it without you. It's like my go-to. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see as more of these come down, you know, what we can learn from all of this. Well, you didn't think what dude made very much sense. I missed part of y'all's conversation, didn't I? I guess y'all talking about Kohberger. So yeah, don't you think those cameras are going to pertain to the path the girls walked that night?
Yeah.
I mean, that's because when you Google these places or look them up on the maps, this is where they showed, and I was like, hell, that's the girls' path that night. That's exactly what those are going to be showing. And there was no date. Like on the Floyd's Cannabis, it said 11/13. The Farmers Insurance, Corner Club video, Cafe Arista that we just looked at, the bagel shop, the grub truck, all these have the dates listed for 11/13, except for Corner Club. It says 11/12 going into 11/13 because the girls arrived at before midnight. Harbor Freight had no date on it whatsoever. The Farm Road stop we know was in August. The Sunset Mart at 1311. Let me show you where that's at. So we all got the gist of this one, where the girls' path of travel that night. Where's my second screen go? Get over here. Okay. I don't remember the name of the gas station that screenshot allegedly came from. Do you recall, Firefly or Jeff?
Location for this? You mean like, I thought it was a bank, but when I'm looking at the map, it looks like they would be on the wrong side of the road.
No. I mean the gas station where
that one. No, I don't know exactly.
The girls are coming down the side.
He does. Jeff.
Sidewalk. 802 Troy Road was the gas station. Okay, because let me see. Where did it go? Where's my... Okay, where are you at? Oh, right here. Okay, here we go. Let's see if this is the same address, Jeff. 1311 Main Street is the address that they're using for this location. I'll show you where that's at in correlation to the house. Okay, so it says that they have video from the Sunset Mart in Moscow, located at 1311 South Main Street. Again with Main Street. So it says it's right here, and then Taylor Avenue is right here that runs back to King Road, which is right here. Let me slide this over. So we're going to be, this is the Sunset Mart, and then Taylor is coming straight down here, turn on to King Road and onto Queen Road, and this is where the house is sitting. I hope y'all can see my pointer good. Okay.
Yep.
So if we take a look closer in this gas station, that's the A&W. That is the gas station where the screenshot was taken by the employee.
A&W or the Moscow Sunset Mart? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it was been said that it was from the A&W, right? That's all I've ever kept hearing. And I want the 11. Yeah, we're going to get to that in just a second. There's some discrepancies about that. So yeah, it makes sense that the Moscow Sunset Mart and the A&W fast food restaurant are basically, they're in the same building, same location. But there's a camera, and we know that the screenshot car that I'm talking about, guys, is a gas station attendant. When they were checking their camera footage, apparently sees a light-colored sedan pass the gas station, and I don't even know the timestamp on her video, but she took a screenshot of the car from the video, and that got released to the media. And so it's a very grainy image. The car doesn't look like, you can't tell much about the car except it's a light colored sedan, and that's where that screenshot would have come from. So they actually have the actual camera footage that's going to show you better than with a screenshot. But that location is literally right there at Taylor Avenue by the house. So let's see, is it going to let us street view it? So it's technically like a 76 station. Can we get up in there? Can we see some cameras? It's all blurry. I've looked at this place before. It's been a hot minute since I've been looking around this place, though. Yeah, because this is the A&W gas station. But I don't know. There's camera right there at the top. Right there. On the corner. Facing the highway. This side have one too. Yep. So there's 2 cameras here at the Sunset Mart / A&W that see the highway that was along the travel toward the Moscow home. And that's right the Idaho King Road home or whatever. That's pretty damn close. How many times can it see? Because if you get into the actual neighborhood, and we are pretty sure 1320 Linda Lane will see that car pass by here. I got a video out on that. Exactly when that happens. Are you just circling this loop right here? You know what I mean? Up through Willenta and the Ridge Road. Now going back to the Ridge Road. So the PCA states that, let me see, at 2:53 a.m., traveling southeast on Nevada in Pullman towards SR 270. This was given to the FBI car specialist who ID'd the make and model between a 2014 and 2016. That's on page 8 of the PCA. Now, we know Ann has now come out and is trying to say that it was actually, what did we say was the address on that? 1125 Ridge Road.
Mm-hmm.
But when they were in court talking about that, basically she stumbled on that because they read the emails exchanges, and he literally didn't say he relied on that particular camera. They were looking at the window shapes of the car from that particular footage. But the PCA says it was a camera from Southeast Nevada in Pullman that they used to ID that car with. So that's, something that I had really been thinking about lately too, that I'd like to put some more thought into, because that's 2 different accusations or claims, not accusations, 2 different claims, and I honestly, as many times as I read the PCA, it never registered, or maybe I just didn't think of it when I was reading it, that it actually says that. And we can pull it up and I can show you guys what it's talking about there. Docket. Because I just think it's interesting that she's saying that it came out one way, and they're like, no, this is how it happened, or this is what we used. And I still have a problem with WSU on November 29th, and then Mallory saying the first time I heard Koberger in December. That makes sense.
Payne said it, yeah. Payne. Maybe they both said it. I don't know.
Whichever one said it, it doesn't matter at this point. Mm-hmm. I don't understand that.
Yeah, I know. So FBI, somebody knew his name. Did they not share? And if they had meetings twice a day, I can't believe that wasn't on a tip or something that they didn't investigate.
And I don't want to hear lost tip, misplaced, and all that shit. I heard enough of that in Delphi. You don't go misplacing valuable tips. Especially,
or was it because the year was wrong? The year was wrong that they didn't take it seriously? Because at that time,
you can't put a lot of stock in a possibility. We're looking for between a 2013 and a 2015 or whatever their original was.
11 to 13 originally. So
yeah, I would still, if I was a cop, I'd say
that's so close enough to take a look.
Close enough. Exactly, that's close enough. They're all hollering about this car. That's worth taking a look at. So I still have a problem with that. I don't understand how that happens.
I think it was enough for the FBI because they were looking into him, even if Moscow wasn't.
Exactly, but why? But
I don't know.
But why? Yeah, there's a lot of I have a feeling. But I need to be sure on that feeling. You know what I mean? I don't know. So anyway, at approximately 5:25 a.m., a white sedan, which was consistent with a description of suspect vehicle 1, was observed on 5 cameras in Pullman, Washington, and on WSU campus cameras. The first camera that recorded the white sedan was located at 1300 Johnson Road in Pullman, which we took a look at that, and that is the ENS services. The white sedan was observed traveling northbound on Johnson Road. Johnson Road leads directly back to West Palusta River Drive in Moscow, which intersects with Conestoga, which they thought was maybe his original travel back home, but turns out that was not right.
So
Anyway,
he did go Nevada. Okay, he did go Stadium Way. So why would he go that loop around? That's so weird to me.
Well, they don't take away this part. Don't ignore West Palouse and Conestoga, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Because they think when they first wrote the PCA, I think that's what they thought his path of travel was once he got on Walenta, because they lost him back there. And then the cameras they finally pick him up again, leaving Moscow out the back way. I don't know what he was doing during this time because I still haven't deep dove that part yet, but I'm getting there. But the white sedan was then observed turning north on Bishop, which we saw because that's the gas station, the what do you call it? The Mart, whatever it was, Sunset Mart in Pullman. We took a look at that, and that was at approximately 5:27. The white Elantra was observed on this camera traveling northbound on Stadium Way at Nevada, and then on Grimes Way, Stadium Way, or Stadium Drive in Wilson. But then when you get right down here, hang on, which was it exactly? 5:25 mark go.
Yeah, because some of that doesn't make sense to me with the timeline. But
as far as where he's driving to,
well, okay, because they correlate with West Palouse River Drive, which intersects with Conestoga Drive. But he left that neighborhood around 4:30. So why at 5:30 are they connecting this? You know, see what I'm saying? Like,
because so if he left the area at 4:20 at a high rate of speed, and he's seen traveling back into Pullman an hour later, I still don't know, because when the PCA first came out, and you look at what they tell you they believe once he got on, he left at 4:20 at a high rate of speed, leaves the neighborhood, taking a left onto Walenta Drive. Then from there, they believed he exited on the Conestoga. But no cameras see him during that time frame. The PCA says that, because I think that's what they thought.
Yeah, but then at 4:48 is when he reconnects back to the network.
Coming out of Moscow.
He's near like Genesee or Blaine or something.
Right. I think if you could, let's pull up the map and let's look at something. Let's pull up that map of that area, because we mapped that Conestoga area back in the beginning. Okay, let me go here. I don't like raisins. Y'all talking about raisins over there? I've seen that. I'm like, I don't even eat them things. Okay. Let me get this up here. Yeah, there's been much talk about them reflectors, Jack, on the back of that car. Okay. So, as you can see, if you guys can see right there where the red marker is Walenta Drive. And back here is the King Road residence was here, and the Queen Road apartments right next to it on the right-hand side. All right, so they saw the car come out of the King and Queen Road and go left on Taylor and down Walenta Drive. Then they say, leading them to believe that he could have left via Conestoga, which is here, which runs back all the way. What was the other road? Conestoga and what they say, Firefly?
Oh, what did they say? West Palouse River Drive or something? Palouse River Drive. I think that's further south.
Lost my Palouse River Drive. Because see, once you go back up, it connects back to Steiner. You can get to Steiner from it. And there's Paradise Drive. It's Conestoga. Because see, Conestoga comes and ends at Sunnydale. You can go all the way back to here, but it dead ends really into this Linter. But the Palouse Drive was further down here. And the reason I say they think that he went that way is because it literally tells you they don't see him on camera back here once he gets back here. So I think that if he did come back here on Walenta, once he got back here, he could have come down Conestoga, right? But he left. They don't see him back here on camera. So where did he go when he got back here? Did he leave, go back to Walenta, and then go back out Steiner? To Steiner, then all the way down 95 out toward.
You would think if he did that loop all the time, he would have that one memorized, because that neighborhood's confusing if you don't know it.
Well, I mean, we kind of know it too good now, but yeah, I mean, you're not gonna not know where you're going, right? So the thing that gets me is when they say they don't see him on camera back here. It tells me he did not leave the way they originally thought. And we'll have to pull the PCA up and read that directly so you guys understand what I'm saying. But I think that once he got back here on Walenta, they're not sure where he went because it literally says they don't see him back here. Then he's not seen again until he's coming out of the area, which if you do come out Conestoga, like I said, Conestoga, however you want to pronounce it, you have to come back out this way, and you're still going to end up back on the highway, or even over here's the Indian Hills area, right, and Steiner. And did he take when he came from? Okay, so what you're in Washington's way over here. So why would you get, if you're coming through on the 270 and you get into Moscow, then why would you end up going way over here, right, to Indian Hills? Like, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, that always puzzled me.
Yeah, why come all the way, why swing all the way out? Unless it was part of, I need to kill some more time. Maybe he had a way of knowing they were still at the grub trial. I don't know. You know what I mean? Surveilling people. I don't know what the point of coming over here would have been either.
Yeah, and looping through that neighborhood. And I hear what somebody said, how it's like right over above Moscow PD, but why? What are you going to really see from that?
Yeah, Jeff said it was, and I forgot.
It is. It's right. It is right where that loop is.
Yep.
It's right over the Moscow PD, but I just don't see how does that benefit you?
Well, I mean, if he wants to go see if all the cops are hanging out at the cop house, or they all patrolling the neighborhoods, or they all out getting the bar goers,
Maybe they change shifts. I wonder, like, you know what I mean? Like 3 a.m, do they change shifts? 4 a.m, what time,
Look, there's Palouse River Drive. There, I finally found it again. But see, so that ties kind of back into the Indian Hill, because Indian Hills runs right along beside the Palouse River Drive. So when they were talking about him coming off of Conestoga, getting onto the Palouse River Drive, then they thought he took the Palouse River Drive that leads right back into the Moscow-Pullman Highway. But there's no cameras that see that happening, and the PCA states that. Because we know he left, according to the PCA, going this way, away. See, here's Floyd's. Look, there's Floyd's coming in. He would have left going this way. Sorry, I had my.
I was gonna say, I was like,
I'm backwards, y'all.
Because Genesee's the other way. I'm like, what?
Yeah, let me pull my bearings back out. So came in from Pullman, came in through the 270. He is seen on the Floyd's cannabis shop. makes his way into Moscow. And then once you get over there, then you're out, doing your crazy loop-de-loops over here. We don't know why. And then leaving, see, when you leave Walenta, you would take a right onto 95 out here if you come out of Steiner.
So you're saying they did not see him go by Constanoga? I thought they thought he did, because that would
let me
take
pull up
you
PCA. Let's get the PCA pulled back up.
Because that would take you to Palouse River Drive, and then you would intersect whatever 95 that would take you south.
But he didn't go that way home, and according to what they're saying now, I'll show you what the thing said. All right, let me pull it up here, make it bigger. He said that as a fact. I don't recall hearing that as a fact, not even in the court stuff, because they said they got him on camera.
So that would mean Floyd Cannabis was not him, because that's 270, right?
Yeah, that's on 270, but I don't recall hearing Payne say they don't have anything, from. I haven't heard that. Okay, so I'm trying to get to the part in here where he says about the driving around. Let's see. Let me get down to it. I don't want to read all that crap again. Stuff that doesn't pertain to what we're talking about.
Yeah, it does hurt my head thinking about the times and all the documents and all the info. It's like you really need to write it down and map it out like you're doing.
That's why I do it, because I can't have all that jumbled up in my head. Okay. As a part of the investigation, an extensive search, commonly referred to in law enforcement as a video canvass, was conducted in the area of the King Road residence. This video canvass was to obtain any footage from the early morning hours, November 13th, in the area of the King Road residence and surrounding neighborhoods in an effort to locate suspect or suspect vehicle traveling to or leaving from the King Road residence. This video canvass resulted in the collection of numerous surveillance videos in the area from both the residential and business addresses. I reviewed numerous videos that were collected and have been conversations and with other MPD officers and all that. Okay. A review of camera footage indicated a white sedan known as Suspect Vehicle 1 was observed traveling westbound in the 700 block of Indian Hills in Moscow at approximately 3:26. And then and that was westbound Steiner and Highway 95 at approximately 3:28. On this video, it appeared Suspect Vehicle 1 was not displaying its front license plate. The review of the footage from multiple videos obtained on the King Road neighborhood showed multiple sightings of Suspect Vehicle 1 starting at 3:29 and ending at 4:20. These sightings show Suspect Vehicle 1 make an initial 3 passes. Okay, let me get on to we already went over all that. I got that video. Let's see.
So that checks out. So he was if you follow him on the map, and the time correlates. So, okay.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm just trying to get to the part where they talk about leaving out Walenta. Okay. That's traveling in. I must have passed it. Hang on, guys. I'm trying to get to the right pages. I don't want to go through a bunch of pages we don't need to go through. Oh. Okay, I think this is it. That's not exactly it. Okay. It says the white sedan was observed traveling northbound on Johnson, which is where we looked at a few minutes ago. At the 1300 Johnson, where the
Yeah,
EMS
that's when he's
services was
coming
look-
home. But aren't we looking at
Yeah.
in Moscow? So when he's
Yeah, I'm trying to find that exact one, but this one is where they also refer back to the white sedan was observed traveling northbound on Johnson Road, which leads directly back to the West Palouse River Drive in Moscow, which intersects with Conestoga Drive. Now, if we, I'm trying to find the exact part where the car travels away. Okay. Here we go. It's on this one. Suspect vehicle 1 is next seen departing the area of the King Road residence at approximately 4:20 a.m. at a high rate of speed. Suspect vehicle 1 is next observed traveling southbound on Walenta Drive. Based on my knowledge of the area and review of camera footage in the neighborhood that does not show suspect vehicle 1 during that time frame, I believe that the suspect likely exited the neighborhood at Palouse River Drive in Conestoga.
Yep.
So they believed that at that point in time, but they didn't.
because, like you said, they don't have video, but they also didn't have video of him on Walenta or Ridge Road going out again.
Right.
So he must have gone out that way. So that's when they initially thought he took that road going back to Pullman right away, and then he didn't. Instead, they found him connecting to the tower in Genesee. So he went further south.
Exactly.
Now, I remember Payne being on the stand for one of these hearings where Ann Taylor asked him why they only got videos starting at 5 a.m. since he left at like 4:20. Why didn't they have video from 4:20 to 5? Instead. Do you remember that at all?
About that morning when he left his apartment?
Yeah, no, the morning when he left the neighborhood, apparently. So, and then also, she asked him if he was seen on camera leaving the neighborhood and going back to Moscow, and they didn't have any video of him going back.
No, because there's not going to be any of him going back except for whatever is, because that's such a rural area. I think the last camera that they do have.
But there are a few places, because she mentioned a few places. Like
they're in other documents. And I'm going to have to start searching through, because look, now that you've said that, there was a location. Let me get a map back up here. Where was that? Okay.
She mentioned a bunch of places. Did you get video from this location? And he said he didn't know. Monday's Machine. He's like,
That's it.
He's like, I've never heard of that. And she's like, well, it's only like quarter mile from Moscow PD or something. Oh, it's like down the street from Moscow PD.
It was, hang on. We looked at this a long time ago, and I just
apparently they have cameras. So it was like, why didn't you collect cameras from them?
That's out on 95, isn't it?
Yes, southbound. So if he went that way to get to Genesee, I don't know. Maybe they didn't ever get camera footage.
Well, Anne knows about it somehow. They had, it was Monday's. Let's see.
Monday's Machine.
Mm-hmm. Okay, here's the. Okay, so that little red dot there is Monday's Machine and Welding. And it's literally just sits right on the outside of town.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So this, Firefly is right. This was brought up in a former document by Ann Taylor.
It was at the hearing she asked him.
Yeah, and there's a camera right there. But see how it seems to be more angled at the front of the shop, the bay doors.
That one does, yeah.
It really did. Because when I looked at that in the very beginning when that was first brought up, I was like, that camera's angle, but it could still possibly see out to the road because I couldn't tell if that looked like just shop
The
lights.
light, yeah.
But this is literally sitting right on 95. I looked down here at these buildings as well and didn't see any cameras.
I think there's another coffee shop too that she asked him about, if I recall.
There was. We'll have to get the damn freaking which document that was. And look at this big ass business that sits back here off the road. I forgot it was back here too, but I didn't. It wouldn't let me go up in there. Or did it? No, it wouldn't. Because I tried like heck to get in there one day, but I couldn't see. It looks empty almost, whatever it is. But I didn't see any like major cameras there.
Yeah.
Not even at the entrance to the.
Well, that could be why they didn't get any footage if they didn't really have.
Schwartz Campus Engineering Laboratories. You'd think they'd have some security for their freaking employees. I'd be like, y'all ain't got no cameras. Y'all know this deranged killer just passed by here. But that to me, that's an interesting location because of the fact that it is so close to town still.
Yeah.
That would have spotted the vehicle coming out. If they couldn't find it over here in Moscow back there, messing around in Conestoga, then they ended up finding this footage that takes you right out of Moscow. And then you got your phone pinging over here as well near Blaine. So that makes sense. And so there are other camera angles, but you know what? This was not listed in the new document from the
Oh, it wasn't? Okay.
prosecution. It certainly wasn't. So is it not good enough footage? You know what I mean? Because there's no relevance to it. Can it not really bring anything to the table? I don't know.
Maybe that camera just points at the parking lot and not at the road. You can't really see it.
Well, that might be listed in other documents. Who was it? Anjanette Levy, when I was watching her last night, she actually liked my term, the great unsealing. But she had a good point. Will they now unseal past documents?
Oh, yeah, I hope so.
The judge starts to say, you know what, some of this other stuff can be unsealed now, because then we can actually see what they were talking about in those documents, that we couldn't tell before. But I need to, you're right about this, the document mentioning the Mundy's machine shop. God, I've got some hearings to review and still a lot of notes to get done. Oh, sorry, Forrest. I was turning too fast. Forrest getting car sick. I forget I'm not the only one looking around. Not the only one. And then the other location, they mentioned that they have footage from, and I know that because I don't really know for sure, what, I know where Koberger lived and all that good stuff, in the Indian Mountain Lake. But this was also mentioned in the court documents. Don't know if it's like the actual neighborhood. Or, go away, you little box. Real. Why did it do that again? There we go. Get out of her. All right. So this one, there's an actual place called Indian Mountain Lake. An Indian Mountain Lake Civic Association. Now here on this map, it doesn't look, this is the lake. It looks gray on this particular image for some reason. If you go here, you can tell.
I never even noticed the lake. That makes sense though.
Yeah, it's a lake. So, oops. I didn't know, and if you look, because this is all in the Indian Mountain Lake area where he lives, right? I'm not even sure, and I didn't even have time this morning to actually map from his house, Lambston Street, over to this particular location, because I don't know that they were. like when Dolphin and I were talking about it, she's like, well, could that be the entrance to his neighborhood? Like, I honestly don't know. But when I typed in Indian Mountain Lake, this is what popped up. Now, did he go over here and do some hiking? Did he go over here and do some runs? Did he go over here and throw something in the water? It was like that. It wouldn't let me do a street view on this for some reason. Every time I tried, it would never let me do it, no matter where I clicked at on the map. It wouldn't let me do it. So yeah, like again, I don't know if that was a specific location that they have a camera from, or if it's from somewhere in the general area. You know what I mean? Like even the entry to his neighborhood. I don't know.
You would think there'd be a camera at the entrance. There's a gate and stuff, so.
Yeah, so what is his,
Lambston, 119 Lambston?
119, wasn't it?
I believe so.
Lambston, it's already in my thing.
Mm-hmm. Effort. Oh, it's right there. Oh, you're
No,
right. Oh, I get Indian Hills.
Indian Lake. Or what was it? Indian Mountain Lake? Indian Lake Mountain? Indian Mountain.
Mountain, yeah.
Indian Mountain. I wanted to see how far that was from his house. If it'll come up like this. 5 minutes.
Okay.
So I don't know. Like I said, it would, because it did just list on the prosecution's list. It's just called Indian Mountain Lake. So like I said, when I typed that in, I knew it was his neighborhood area, but it's also a very specific place as well, which, like I said, we see now it's 5 minutes from his home, 1.5 miles away. Is that where he would go down to jog or whatever, you know, and they have footage of him down there? I don't know. We got it right here, Jeff. What, I don't know the gate entrance though address. I've never figured that out. I've never really.
I think it's where the start is.
Yeah, but where's the damn start to that neighborhood? I've never even.
I think it's where the red dot is.
No, that's the.
Okay, no, see the corner? That's where it is. Go back. See where there's like a little point that goes up? I think that's the gate there. It's a weird place.
Like over here on the right?
No, go straight down. Right there where it says handyman specialist. Like, go in closer there. That looks like the gate area there to me.
Oh, that would come into their neighborhood?
Mm-hmm. See if you can put the little man there. Oh, no, the little yellow man. I don't know if it'll work.
My little yellow man to come up. Dolphin says that could be a neighbor's camera as well. It could be.
Yeah.
Like I said, because it covers the general area, right? Because like Dolphin was saying, that's the name of the community, right? Is Indian Mountain Lake. And then you got this specific lake back here. So it could be from anywhere in the neighborhood. And if it's not this particular spot back here, Dolphin, I'm willing to bet you're right. It was from a neighboring home, probably.
I think it's right there. Let's see.
Because they're not going to list the neighbor's address out there for the public. Generic listing is to not to out the neighbor. I agree with that 110%. So we do know that it's coming from within his neighborhood as to where that particular camera is located. And that's what I really wanted to do, was get on here with you guys and deep dive where these camera locations were located. We already had put together the financial spots around the targeted area there where he got pulled over. We looked at all that. And then as I was looking over that list of the cameras, I was like, I got to figure out where these are at, you know.
You see where I was trying to get you to go in? That's where the gate is there.
Oh, okay. Entrance to Indian Mountain Lake is right there at Mountain Road and Fawn Lane. Okay, that's where she was pointing me to. Some Google Earth, Jeff. I'm trying to learn me some Google Earth and how to do certain things. I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to step up my game, people. I am. I hurt my shoulder like Saturday because I was on my editing videos for too long. I was like, I got to put this shit down. Yesterday was a nice little break. I wouldn't ate so much food yesterday. I was miserable when I left that neighborhood. And our neighborhood, I was just thinking about Coburger's damn neighborhood. I was so full when I left that restaurant. Then we had to go by the grocery store and buy more food because we were in town. My son's like, I was like, take me today. Let's get this over with because I ain't going to go nowhere for a couple days. One day of peopling is enough for me. But I had a nice time. Getting together with all three of my kids at the same time and both grandbabies is so difficult anymore.
That's so nice. I really miss that. Yeah.
I know. It was my daughter's birthday, so we had to get together.
Once they grow up, they just, everybody's got their own lives.
Exactly. And my kids are busy. I do live with one of them, but he's a busy kid. Just getting them all three together now as adults at the same time is a little challenging at times. Jeff, I actually have played around with it. I've got some pins on a map that I did in Delphi of some key locations. And I'm like, the late last night or early this morning when I was like, how did I do that? How did I do that? Sinead, thank you for coming in. Appreciate you coming in. I really do. Have a good day. So yeah, Jeff, I'm trying to get better at that. I just got to remember how I did it, and like then save it and then make it a movie. Oh no, I'll figure it out. I'll play around with it. I don't know. There's just, I feel like with this case and all these other cases that people get all intertwined up in and get all passionate about and lose their shit over. I don't want to be a part of all that, and I'm not going to come out here and try to make one creator look stupid to show you that I'm smart. I think that's
It's petty.
I think it's petty. I think it's childish. I think it's like, look at me. I'm smarter. I'm louder. I'm whatever. Get over yourselves is all I can say. And if you want to use us to create your own content, hey, go for it. And if you want to tell the world you're being looked at by certain people, but yet the video that's being looked at still out there, hey, you go make that make sense. But okay, I'm just not. And I know there's been a lot of nasty things said about even the roommates lately. I just don't do that here. I don't really, of course we may question things, but to go out the gate being all nasty and everybody trying to say, I told you so's and look at me, I'm smarter, is just, it's weird to me. It's odd. It's just, but I will debunk some shit if I need to. I'll say that.
I mean, the thing is, nobody knows what they would do until you're in that kind of situation. You know what I mean? Like,
well, when you don't put out a video and then have somebody in the comments ask, well, who is that on panel? Oh, someone who just interjecting their own personal experience.
I heard that.
Okay, don't we all bring our personal experiences to the table with us, especially those who talk about their run-ins with the law and people that they knew were harmed in such ways or whatever. Everybody's bringing something to the table, and life experience you need to bring to the table, because sometimes it will help you figure out stuff. Doesn't mean we're right about everything. Just because Dolphin and I feel like a dog may have done this or may have not done that because we've been long-term dog owners, don't mean we're wrong or we're right. We're just adding another perspective to the conversation, So we're not going to come out and tell you you're dead ass wrong, you don't own a dog, or or you're dead ass wrong, you're not even a parent. That's, to me, it's ridiculous. And you can't sit there and say that other people do that when you're doing the absolute same thing. And where is your accurate information coming from? Two parents who conflict each other constantly, according to you?
Also, I'm sorry, but life experiences, and that is very significant.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as far as opinionating, making an opinion on something, it's very relevant.
Dolphin, get your tail up here, girl. Don't you can't tell us you have thoughts and not tell us the thoughts.
No, yes. Oh, yeah.
Like, what? Get up here and share them thoughts with us. She's laughing. She's like, y'all. All right. So while we wait on Dolphin to get her tea and whatever she's doing. There it goes. Well, goodness. Why is that? Stop. Okay. All right. She's going to come up in a second. She was sitting back gaming. So a couple days ago, after the documents were dropped with the it's in the YouTube, or shit, not the YouTube, Dolphin. It's in the Discord, 'cause the updated link is. All right, so while waiting on her to come up, I want to show you guys this. This came out a couple days ago, right after the prosecution, or the document came out with the 911 transcript in it. This is Steve Gonzalez and his attorney, Shannon Gray, and they were speaking. Yeah, we're on StreamYard, Dolphin, today. We had a tech issue with the restream. So anyway, they is like I was saying, this is Steve Gonzalez and his attorney, Shannon Gray, and they're talking to Brian Enton. And this was, like I said, right after the release of the transcripts.
No, we didn't hear a word, and my wife has said from the very beginning, when the hopefully the 911 never came out, and if it did come out, at least she would have, be some prepared. She has a counselor, she has people she could talk to. There's certain things that coping mechanisms. So we'd like for the advocate or somebody to kind of let us know what's going on, rather than nothing personal, but having the media tell you is probably not the same as having somebody that, that you've learned to have a relationship and you trust and you've worked with. So yeah, we're finding out just like everyone else. So it's a bit rough.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. And I remember that you had a meeting with them months ago, and I thought they were going to sort of give you guys a heads up when things were going to be released publicly. And I guess that didn't happen in this case, which is unfortunate. Is there anything, Steve, obviously the horror is what stands out to me, but was there anything in the text of the text messages or the call that really struck you?
What struck me is, it's not like Hollywood. It's not a scripted thing. It's not like what you would see on a TV set. That was a raw, emotional breakdown of two girls that were scared for their life. There's part of me that knows that, like how that house was, there's a lot of pranking going on. There's a lot of partying. So there's part of them that was probably thinking, is this a prank? Am I getting messed with? I know for a fact my daughter loved pranking people. So my heart goes out to those two girls. I'd have a hard time if I was one of their parents to have my daughter put through what they've been put through. I mean, we sat 2.5 years on what? Why did this need to be hidden from the public? Why did these girls have to be dragged through all this? These are the type of things that why I do these interviews and why we push back a little bit, because I think a lot of people are questioning right now why this was hidden.
Yeah, I mean, look, Shannon, it's been years and none of this is coming out until now. And now the judge has said that he wants more of this to become public. But Steve makes a good point. I mean, if this had just come out within the first couple of months, maybe it would have been easier on the survivors and the victims' families like the Gonzalez.
Yeah, I mean, the prosecution's choice in keeping everything under wraps has been a decision that they've made from the get-go. They haven't wavered from it in any way. That being said, I mean, for lack of a better term, I'm just pissed. Common decency should have the Latah County prosecutor's office and the victims' advocates contact myself and the victims' families and let them know some of the stuff that's coming down and is being filed. So they're not just surprised by it and just have a really just honest conversation with us about it. But none of that happens. And I'm frustrated and I'm pissed for myself and the family that I don't have a chance to explain those things to them, to give them a little bit of a heads up on, hey, these motions are filed this way, and they may or may not be successful. If it is successful, who cares? Doesn't affect the case in some way, or my opinion on whether or not those motions might be filed or might be successful or not. But it's just really, really frustrating. And I know Steve and Christy are frustrated by it, but I'm the one that gets to say, I'm pissed, and I'm pissed for everybody. So.
Yeah, and I mean, even if they can't give you the documents ahead of time, it seems like they could at least give you a heads up to tell the family, hey, maybe don't watch the news for an hour. Give me a second to go through these and call you. It seems like that would be sort of a decent thing to do. Steve, what do you make of this latest motion where they're trying to ban words from coming out during trial? I mean, simple words like that are part of the case: murder, bushy eyebrows, sociopath, psychopath. Did this come as a surprise, Steve?
Yeah, I thought they'd have a sadistic on there from the profile that I know that they've made of him. Some of the websites that he's been to, that was a one that rated really high with him. So I'm a little surprised they didn't put that word on there. But when you're super desperate, you really have nothing, you attack words and simple things like that. I mean, they're really done. I mean, their client has left so much evidence that they've got to attack words. So I guess it's a sign. It's a sign of what's to come. And hopefully the state, the prosecution is strong enough to see this all the way through and not give in to the desperation that's about to come and the plea deals that they're going to try to negotiate for.
Thanks for watching.
That tells me like the state really cares very little for victims' rights. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I don't know why they're not telling them more, or when they're going to do stuff, or when things, they deserve to know, I guess. You know what I mean? You can tell that Christy has been really struggling, and that is normal, right? And like he said, she's got her counselors and things of that nature. I'm glad, but if you get a heads up, you get a little prepared.
Yeah, if you don't think you could deal with it, don't watch it. But if they didn't even give them a heads up, like, eesh.
Yeah, I mean, they had never heard that 911 call either. They don't know. They kind of knew about it, but they didn't know about it. As far as the word for word what all was being said or whatever. Yet that interview, Texas, was a day or two ago. I meant to play it the other day and we didn't have time to get to it. Dolphin, can you hear us?
Yeah, sorry.
Welcome in.
Hi, thanks.
So you had some new thoughts?
Oh yeah, you were going over the self-authentication motion, right? I guess earlier.
Yeah.
Going through all the list of things that they had. What do you call it? What did I say? I said dog, Winco, and early warning.
Yeah, the early warning, I think it was.
Ooh. Hold on. Sorry, I'm still sort of yawning. I was just sitting back listening and gaming, and yeah, I haven't really talked to anybody yet. What was I going to say? Well, first observation, I guess, would be about the dog, since the dog's not really on this list or whatever. There's something, everybody's been going over the text messages and whatnot, and talking about the fact that the dog was still barking. But I know these girls didn't really react the way that, we thought, okay, you would normally react or whatever in a situation. But one thing that's bothering me, and I do know some, text messages are missing or whatever, but the one thing that's bothering me is that I still don't think that the dog that was barking was Murphy. because that would have been barking inside the house.
Mhm.
And I think about what kind of dog Murphy is. That what is it, a golden doodle or whatever? And no offense to people who own those kind of dogs, but it seems like a kind of a fluff type of dog. It's not a super protective breed or whatever, you know. So I would imagine that if the dog is barking like crazy for 30 minutes, that while these two are texting, that, you know, that would also maybe be part of the conversation, because anytime my dog barks in the middle of the night like that, if she barked at 4 in the morning, I would pay attention to that. And, you know, one or two barks, yeah, but incessant barking for 30 minutes, I would be like, wait a minute, what's going on with the dog?
Great. There's
know?
something going on.
Right. So a dog inside your house, and this would have been above Dylan's head, right? It's like, and they did not mention the dog at all and say, well, why is Murphy barking?
Exactly.
What's he freaking out over? You know what I mean? They're just having this conversation about, you know, what else is going on in the house, about Dylan seeing somebody in black and blah, 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 whatever. So I still think that this was not Murphy that was barking. It's somebody else's dog.
I agree with you, because we know that the dog did annoy Dylan, and
well, that's another thing. Why won't he shut up?
If he's sitting there barking for 30 straight minutes, and she's already having an issue due to something going on or not, she's going to say that damn dog won't stop barking either.
Right.
You know, that was never said. Even that little bit of the exchange we did see, you think I'm with you. I think it would have been said as well. Which leads me to also believe that wasn't Murphy barking the whole time.
Right.
That's
what I was thinking too.
He's not a very protective type dog.
No.
And because, see, I'm the opposite. I don't want a dog that can't protect me. I don't care how cute they are. I have you for a reason, and it's for protection. So, but I'm used to my dogs being like that. But our dog now, she's not a huge barker, but if she barks during the night, I know something is amiss. There's something outside. There's something nearby. She's alerting me. And a lot of times she'll come and get me. Are you coming to look? You know? But I agree with you. I don't think the dog was, I don't think it was Murphy either.
Yeah, and then I'm kind of laughing to myself because I know the Murphy naysayers are probably going to try to explain it away as, oh, well, these doors were open, so Murphy was outside the house, you know, carrying.
Well, we heard
on.
that.
So,
we heard that as one of the theories, you know, that he ran. The other day that was even said that well, maybe he ran out the back slider because it was open and he knew his way down to Jack's house. So he's running down there barking.
Yes.
He's trying to get Jack's attention. You don't think
as if Murphy was Lassie, you know?
Yeah.
Right. Well, okay. So say Murphy did run down to Jack's and he's at the front door barking his tail off. Jack never heard it. Nobody in the house ever heard it. Like, dude, your dog is out the front door brazen hell.
Timmy's trapped in the well. Go save Timmy.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I don't think Murphy was running around on his own
neighborhood,
down the
right?
highway.
Also, when somebody placed him back in the house, you know.
Yeah, and then he just like, I'm tired trying. Jack's not waking up. Kaylee's not waking up. I'm just going to go back in the house and lay out on Kaylee's bed.
Yeah.
And be quiet the rest of the night. Something's off with the dog. So I think the dog got scared, couldn't get, you know, Kaylee to whatever. And maybe he never went into Maddie's room. Maybe the doors didn't get open until whoever went into that house to try to figure out what was going on actually opened the doors. You know,
even if those doors were open, like I said, that's still a chicken shit breed of dog. You know what I mean? So, and he was young.
I agree.
So maybe he did just lay on the bed, if you know, or whatever.
Yeah,
and not go do anything. But I still don't think that was him in the house barking his head off.
I agree. I totally don't believe it was either. I just don't see it. I honestly don't. Oh wait, that's the wrong one. My thing is so messed up over here on my thing on my channel this morning. Okay. Yeah, I don't. So what about the early warning system thing?
I'll tell you. Well, let me just tell you about Winco really quick, since that's faster. So Winco financial records for Brian and Winco financial records and video surveillance for Bethany and Dylan. I know, what was it the other day when we were talking about it? Somebody said that that's a bank, right? And we were like, no, this grocery store, Winco Foods, the one that's, near, what is it, Farm and Pullman Road, in that same big old shopping plaza that we looked through the other day, right? I still maintain that this is the grocery store because, one, if you go back and look through this list, the way that they discuss banks, all the banks, whether it even includes the word bank in the name, they say bank records, like Umpqua bank records,
Yeah.
to PNC bank records, all that. Plus, I did just Google Winco by itself. It does come up as an online bank. I don't remember who it was who said that a while ago, but what do you
either.
call it? It's if you look at the branch, so it's online banking. And I remember, I think Firefly was like, why would they want, what kind of surveillance would they get for an online bank, right? And I laughed because I was like, yeah, that's a good point. When you look up Winco does come up as a bank, but the only branch is in London, England. So yeah, they're talking
So their
about Winco
brick and
Foods.
mortar has one location in London.
Yes.
That's crazy. Let's get their surveillance video. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, because these people were definitely in London on the night of the 12th and the 13th, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that's that. I mean, plus common sense just tells you it's got to be something right there in
Well,
that
what
area.
if it's an ATM though? What if it's an online bank that has
You
ATMs,
wouldn't have. Well, you wouldn't have.
third party
Mm,
ATMs maybe?
but
Where
you would subpoena that bank because I have different bank accounts and I have online banking. So it's like, let me see. I think Citibank is not near me at all, or whatever, or USAA, which is based out of San Antonio, Texas. They're not near me. They don't have actual ATMs. They share other banks' ATMs. So if you wanted to subpoena the ATM records, you'd have to go to, I don't know, let's say it's Chase Bank that they're
well,
using.
there's third party ATMs at like gas stations and convenience stores and stuff
Even
too.
still, you would go to the business that
Right,
owns that
right.
third party,
Yes.
whatever company
Logically,
owns it.
yes.
Right. So it's
Yes.
still not going to be that Winco online bank,
Right.
So, plus, if they're banking in London, like an online bank in London, and have like, a British debit card or whatever, if they're withdrawing money here, they're getting like extra fees and whatnot. You know what I mean? For like currency conversion, service fees, blah, blah, blah. So, that doesn't really make sense for like a normal everyday basis,
No, it does not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it is interesting though that it's Dylan and Bethany, and then him. So was he in that grocery store at the same time they bought something?
That's what I was wondering.
And one of them, were with like Kaylee or Maddie or somebody else, or was he just
And
in the store at the same time as them?
and I'm wondering if all of the ones that the financials that came out of there, the Joanne, the Marshalls, Petco, Rite Aid, Ross, Target, Ulta, are those all from the same day?
Right.
Mhm.
And are those also from the 12th of August when the stop was occurred
Right.
from that same day?
I tell you, that would be hella obvious though if one guy follows girls to all these different stores, because you would notice, the same person in the same store. Like I did that the other day. I was in one store or restaurant or something, and then I went to the grocery store maybe 40 minutes later, and I noticed this woman, and I looked at her and I was like, hey, didn't I see you in, da da da? And she was like, she laughed. She was like, oh yeah, you know. So um yeah, and I think that, Kaylee and Dylan and whoever else in that group was into true crime and like a little more vigilant than normal would have probably noticed this same guy going to like all
If
those
he was
different
going to all the
stores
stores.
on the same day,
And I wonder if he was sitting out in the parking lot in the car just watching too. I don't I
Mhm.
don't know as well.
Could have
Um,
been.
yeah. Um,
And Moscow is no booming metropolis, so it would have made it stand out that much more, you know? There's only like about 20 something thousand students just for the university itself.
Yeah.
And then the town is probably like about that, or maybe a little less or whatever. So
Yeah.
how many of those people, 30 or 40,000 people would be, in Ulta at one specific time,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't be too crowded probably.
I'm just catching up on the comments over here. So, Truth Exposed, we are learning in the original document, the PCA, when they walk up to Xana's room, they see Xana lying in the floor by the door. Then it came out later through the Drunk Turkey interviews with Christy Gonzalez that it was Ethan in front of the door and they couldn't get the door open, is why Hunter came over. But we're now finding out through court documents that's not exactly true either. It apparently was Xana at the doorway. Whether the door was shut or whether they couldn't get it open, that I couldn't tell you. It always appeared that Ethan was on that bed and that Xana was the one in the floor. And from what Anna's come out and said in the latest documents, that's what it appears to be now. And I think the loud thud could have been coming from, it did come from Xana's room, but was it Ethan? I don't think Ethan drug himself out of the bed and over toward the door, because a lot of us were trying to figure out how would Ethan get in front of that door and block it. Did he last ditch effort trying to get help and then collapse right there? We don't know. But if you look at the latest docs, if you pushed Ethan out of the way, we're talking about when they came in to find him. I mean, I'm a little confused. Because I also saw you said that your one of your theories was, and I've heard this before, not just from you, people who think that maybe when Xana went to get her DoorDash, that's when the person came in. Well, the DoorDash came in at 4 a.m. ish. The car is still circling the building at Queen Road Apartments until 4:07. So I don't think, if we're to believe that car on Linda Lane is the suspect, he didn't exit that car till at least 4:08. So he wouldn't have made entry to the house till at least because the car parks behind the building at 4:07. So 4:08, 4:09, before he ever actually steps foot in the back door. DoorDash should have been delivered by that point. I still think he had, in my theory, he went upstairs first and got Maddie and Kaylee, and then came down and then did run across Ethan or Xana. I'm thinking it was probably Xana. And did Xana's attack start in that living room? Is that why they're all CSI all up in that living room doing some work? Did she make her way back to her room? And by that time, Ethan is startled, alert, and coming to, and then he gets it. But we won't know any of the true facts until trial. But yeah, we had heard different things about how Ethan and Xana were found. But I'm more inclined to believe that like we always believed, that it was Xana there at the door. Your theory in the very beginning about Ethan blocking the door, yeah. Good grief, I'm not being rude. I'm trying to have a conversation with you and get to what you were thinking. I see to what you said. In the beginning, you thought that was part of it. Yeah, I get it now. I still, I have no clue which one was in front of the door, except for what Ann Taylor just came out and told us in court documents. I'm more inclined to believe that, because apparently, the parents were getting told different things as well. I don't know if they even directly talk to Hunter. Do you guys ever heard?
Yeah, they did.
They did that.
He was A2.
Okay, they did talk to him directly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh wait, you're talking about the parents or on the?
Yeah, no, the parents.
They said that they talked to him because that was the whole. Christy supposedly got the story from Hunter.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
About why they had to go over there.
The truth is, I was trying to keep up with all of your comments because there's a lot of them. So I was trying to go back to the beginning of the conversation and make sure I had it right. What you were talking about. But again,
yeah, I asked Truth Exposed what his theory was, and he explained it in great detail.
Yeah, it was just
He's still trying to follow.
I don't know that the theory is what most people's theory was. If you go by what we know about court documents, you know what I mean? Because the PCA always stated it was Santa at the doorway. And then also in the room was the mail, leading us to believe he was in the room and she was actually at the door. But we started hearing more.
I knew it.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm talking about Truth Exposed finally said that she's a she.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you didn't. I was like, he's over here calling her.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I'm so stupid.
Truth's a woman, man. You're outnumbered over here, Joe.
Way outnumbered. Holy cow.
You're in a woman's world, man.
I'm sorry. I apologize sincerely.
Truth.
I don't.
Avoid this
The avatar is the Martian, and the name I have
Marvin the Martian. Yep.
Is that who that is? I'll never know the little dude's name.
She likes some,
Oh yeah, from
tunes though. Yeah,
from Bugs
Marvin the
Bunny.
Martian.
Yep.
Yeah.
Love it.
Okay. Well, now that we got that figured out, that mystery is solved. We should all put our pronouns beside what we are, or like.
Oh, jeez.
I get.
Mm-mm. Oh, that's crazy. So, TJ Maxx records for Dylan. Yeah. Sorry. Where's the? Okay. Back up to this. The early warning records, right?
Mhm.
Remember, I Googled it, looked it up, and, found that system that works with banks and tells people about tells the banks about your account activity and whatnot, and monitors for fraud and all this, right? So it's like supposed to be essentially the banking systems own like credit reporting or whatever, right? So last night I was looking again because I saw somebody stream. I watched like a few minutes of or whatever, and they were talking about that. And, I was like, wait a minute, let me look this thing up again, because it didn't seem like that would be right to me, because it's like, they have all these bank records already, so what else would they be looking in there, and I was thinking, even if he used like different cards or whatever, like different debit cards, different credit cards, they had his crypto and all that, like, like they should know how he bought like items,
Mhm.
So I went back to look at it, and if you look up early warning, because it was early warning services, right? I noticed I started seeing early warning systems, right? And I was just like, what is this? So there's something, a system that's related to law enforcement called early warning systems. So like EWS. And what it is it is a system that law enforcement use to help identify like potential problem officers. They log incidents into a system like a database or whatever. And I guess I should have probably pulled it up. I'm trying to remember. Firefly, I told you this last night. What all did it say? It logged incidents like potential things like complaints and different things like that, right? Let me try and pull it up.
Like high risk behavior.
Right, high risk behavior. So they basically, and they use it to monitor performance, right? So basically they can deal with a problem before, a person becomes too much of a problem, I guess, right? So, and it was related to law enforcement, right? But then I started thinking, because we watched the Nancy Grace special the other day again, right? So the program that Brian was in, that he got in trouble with and got, so he worked so hard to get into this program that, was basically like, what would you call it? Like a law enforcement training program or something like that. Did we find out the name of it the other night? Firefly, I don't remember the name of the program itself.
No, it didn't really have a specific name.
Yeah. Well, so we were talking, and while I was looking up this early warning systems information, she found the name of it. What was the school? Something with an M.
Well, you
It's
put me
in
on
your
the spot here,
history.
like, yeah.
Oh God.
Um,
Hold on, people. Let me look in my history because I think. Oh, did you linked it to me, didn't you?
Monroe Career and Technical Institute.
There we go. So this Monroe Career and Technical Institute is basically what Brian was in. This program that he was in. What do you call it? Actually, should we give the link? Where's the?
Oh, I have the link. Hold on a sec.
Yeah.
I gotta find it again.
Do you want me to share my screen? Oh.
I'll put it in that Zach chat, the link, if you wanna. Oh shoot!
I found it.
Oh, you did. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, Salty, can you see this?
I can now. There we go. Okay.
Okay, so this is what Firefly found last night while we were talking. The Monroe Career and Technical Institute. So this, we looked up here in programs up at the top, and you could see that they had, I don't know if this is large enough for you guys to see, but it's kind of like this is a vocational program, so they had plumbing, they had HVAC, cosmetology. So there's like a whole list of things here, but we decided criminal justice is what he must have been in, right? So, okay, there we go. Criminal justice. And it says it's a PDE approved program of study. And we looked that up. PDE, we believe, stands for Pennsylvania Department of Education Program of Study. So he was in this program. What was it? Like it was in his junior year or something. And on the show that we watched the other day, he had gotten into trouble while he was in this program. This program, they basically had everyone taking turns being like in charge for the day or whatever. And based on what that woman said, the director of the program said, it sounded like Brian had issues with the way he was treating the females in the program. So basically, whenever it was his turn to be in charge, from what she said, it sounded like maybe he was overly harsh with them or biased or whatnot, because I think about the way she described his participation in the program and the way that she said, and as soon as she learned that he was a suspect in these murders, then what happened back then when he was a part of this program made sense. So I was like, okay, because she couldn't say what happened, but it's like, okay, that sort of like falls into line. So anyway, this program, we started wondering, oh, so if it's a criminal justice, like, vocational training program or whatever, I wonder, are they partnered with law enforcement? If you've got young high school students that are, interested in becoming, a police officer or whatever, work a corrections officer, something like that, and they are in this program and they turn out to kind of like show problematic signs in this, if this school is working with, like, partnered with, like, say, local law enforcement or whatever, would maybe they have said, okay, this guy got kicked out of this program, and they, the law enforcement in that area knows, oh, yes, this guy, something happened, there was an incident, and would they maybe put a record in their early warning systems so that if Brian or somebody like Brian ever decided to go and apply somewhere else, it would flag him.
That
And
makes
then
sense.
I also thought about the fact that he tried to apply for Pullman. So in this program, this criminal justice program, he got removed from it and specifically placed in an HVAC program because his father was in HVAC, and I think he had said he had worked with his father on some stuff or whatever, but they specifically said they put him in that HVAC program because there were no females in that program. So that lets you know that his whatever happened, his issue was related to females, okay, when he was in this program. So And then, like I said, I started thinking about the fact that he applied for an internship with Pullman PD, right? And then he didn't get it. But we don't know why he didn't get it. So is it possible that this early warning, because all it says is early warning records, right? So I don't know if it's this company early warning services or is it this early warning system, you know? And I found like a PowerPoint presentation and whatnot. So there's more information out there about the early warning system that law enforcement uses and like the, you know, the reasons for it and everything. So I just started wondering, his early warning records, could that be related to this?
Yeah, that's a very good concept. I mean, it could very well be, because if you have to have some sort of system, well, we know. But I get what you're saying. Like in Pennsylvania, like the system, so if he can get flagged, so if he goes for any other jobs in the future, it would be on there, right?
Mhm.
It makes it makes sense to me. So it's
And
going to be.
what is it? And what is that system that they keep track of that in, where he gets flagged somewhere, so it's, you know, it comes up somewhere else if he tries it again somewhere else? What is that system?
It's literally called early warning systems.
Okay. Okay.
There's, and actually under the Office of Justice Programs.gov, they have some information there about it. So that's a federal
Gotcha.
program too.
Wow.
Where did I just like
That's
click?
kind of cool, actually. I mean, like,
So
we should be
yeah,
keeping track of that. We should be keeping track of that, maybe.
if you literally Google early warning system law enforcement, you'll see it mentioned under the National Policing Institute.org. You'll see it like all over the place. So it's not just something for Pennsylvania.
Right.
I see ncdoj.gov, North Carolina Department of Justice. So yeah, I was, you know, it was really, really late last night when we were looking at this, so I didn't get a chance to see if it was a nationwide thing, but it's maybe, you know, it makes sense that it would be. you
Yeah.
know?
Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Okay. So,
We both got distracted by something at the same time.
yeah, I've got my little pop-up notifications, which y'all can't
Yeah.
see those, can you?
I don't know.
No.
On my screen, okay.
I
No.
didn't, you didn't see mine, but we both laughed at the same time. So-
Yeah. So, but yeah, there are apparently the early warning systems, you know, are mentioned like all over, you know, in different jurisdictions, different states, on federal websites. Yeah. If you want, we can look into it some more. And, you know, like I said, I found a PowerPoint presentation about it. There was some sort of like a seminar on it and whatnot. So yeah,
Are you
but
guys laughing at what I just posted? Because I like
Yeah.
right when I posted it, you all laughed it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, sorry about
I
that.
got notifications that pop up in the bottom right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we got it at the same time. Oh, truth! Don't be coming out with the truth now. I know exactly what you're talking about over there, girl. I'm just staying out of it.
What woman?
Their little conversation.
Oh. Oh.
There's a lot of troublemaker mods. I mean, not in this one. I'm just saying.
No.
various
Yeah, we
places.
know where they're at. So does
Yeah.
Truth. Truth. Yeah, that's right. You used to go on John's panel, didn't you?
Oh, that's who
I
she was
like
talking about. Yeah.
I like Detective John. He never did bother me.
We were looking at him last night because I was like, oh,
Where'd he
what
go?
happened to
Yeah.
him? Where did he go? Because it's
He
been about a
comes up
year.
No, actually, he was in 12 Gauge's chat just a couple weeks
Oh,
ago.
really?
But he's
Yeah.
no longer streaming?
No.
Oh,
He said
okay.
hi, you know, I said hi back. But yeah, he has popped into 12 Gauge's chat a few times, but he's not doing anything, you know. I don't see him anywhere else, which I don't go to a lot of places anymore. I just don't go to a lot of streams anymore. If I do, it's like for 5 minutes, like, oh.
Yeah, after a few minutes, you're like, oh, okay.
Why? Oh, this is a PDF. I was like, I'm clicking on stuff. Why is
When's
this
he
not
coming
coming
back,
up?
Texas? Yeah.
Let's
Yep.
see.
DJ's coming back. Oh, okay.
Oh, that'd be interesting. Closer to the trial, I guess.
Probably, yeah.
I heard Bob Mata say on one of his recent streams that I think he said he was gonna try to get down to Idaho to cover boots on the ground. We'll see.
Oh,
Where's he based at?
He's in
Mata.
Chicago.
Chicago? Oh, wow. That's nowhere near.
He's not too far from Delphi, Indiana.
Right. That's pretty far from Idaho.
Yeah, I'd just sit at home watching on TV.
Yep. Yeah.
oh,
Straight from the comfort of my home. That's what I'm going to do. But I am getting hungry, so I'm going to call
okay.
it. I'm going to go get some food and do a couple of things around the house, and then I'm going to work on some more things. Some video stuff I want to some video things I want to put together and finish working on, and try to get up with the ladies later. And no new documents have dropped. There were because he's enough trouble talking about Bob. So I checked this morning, and there weren't any. Now they did. There is this one document that people were trying to make a big deal about. To me, is not a big deal. It's pretty self-explanatory.
Oh, on the site, there's something new, or
It was not like today new, but it was like Friday new or whatever. Which one was it? It was the
no contact order, modifying it.
Yes,
People didn't know who might have a step daughter and a wife.
I think it's Maddie Mogan's dad. Maddie, because his wife was not originally on there with him, and I don't think it's it because her name is shit. I've got her Facebook page too.
Yeah, I don't even know her name.
Corey. She's got black hair. Yeah, she's looks like a pretty nice lady. But this one came up, and they're all debating on who this could be. There's only 4 deceased students. It's not the Chapin family. It's not the Gongalves family. Maddie's stepfather is married to her mother. So this one says, State of Idaho by and through Latah County prosecuting attorney moves this court for a modification to the no contact order previously filed, herein prohibiting the defendant from having any contact with the father of one of the victims. This motion has been based on the fact that the father has requested the addition of his wife and stepdaughter to the no contact order. The state has contacted the defendant's attorney, Ann Taylor, in this matter, and she does not have an objection to amending the no contact order. I believe that's about Maddie's stepmother. It doesn't make it either has to be hers or either Xana's. Because it's not talking about the Chapin family.
Yeah, Chapin and Gonzalez haven't. They're still married to their spouses.
Exactly. And I know that Xana's parents are not married, and neither were Maddie's parents. But Maddie's stepfather is married to her mother, and I don't even think he has any children. If they do, they've not mentioned them. And I don't think it's pertaining to Xana's father. It could, but I think it's about Maddie's stepdad's wife, because she's always been his wife. But I don't know why it would be just coming up now. Like, did he try to contact them? And that brought this upon, I don't know why that came up like that. There was a defendant's motion to leave for file to responses to the state's amended expert disclosures. A defendant's 7th motion to compel, and a motion to modify the no contact, and a motion that sealed the exhibits for the defendant's 7th motion to compel. So there was really nothing eventful in any of those that are even worth reading or talking about at this, because they're sealing up exhibits. So, but there's nothing new that come down. And what we have, April 9th, I think, is right now still scheduled for the next, let me check the summary page, because I have not checked that today.
Yeah, April 9th is going to be a lot of those hearings on the
motion.
experts, like
Yeah,
Amazon and all that.
all those motions hearings should be
hmm
held on that day. Let me see here. Click.
I was trying to go back and make a playlist for the hearings, and I'm trying to remember. I thought Law and Crime had it the whole trial, because the
Law and Crime,
judges
uh,
channel is shut down, and he never left anything up anyway.
yeah, they never leave them up. Law and Crime and East Idaho News.
Oh, East Idaho News. Okay.
Mhm. Yeah, because I've been kind of doing the same thing that you're talking about doing. So there's
hmm
nothing new added to the docket there to look at either, guys. But yeah, I
Firefly and Dolphin, did you see that in Lori Vallow Daybell's case, she filed a list of witnesses, defense witnesses, and she called Nate Eaton of East Idaho News
yes, she
as
did.
one of her defense
No,
witnesses.
didn't know that.
Didn't see that.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Oh,
Like,
that's
how's-
interesting.
Yeah.
yeah, we have the link
Super
to the
interesting.
docket now. Joe pinned or dropped it in the channel, so I
Okay.
can keep up with the documents over there. But he got the latest documents down, and yeah, that was we went over them on his show. Was it yesterday, Joe? And
Yeah, yesterday afternoon. Yep.
yeah. So for some reason, Lori's the guy who tracked her down to Hawaii to ask her where her children were. This is the guy she's called upon to come be on her list of.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like, what are you doing there, Lori? But did you guys either one of you get to watch that interview that was done with her?
No, I was wondering the same thing if you had watched it, because it's on
Oh,
Peacock
yeah.
now, right?
It's on Peacock now, and I literally just went through. I'm not going to do it today because I like it's going to take me a few minutes, but I do plan to bring it out. But I I knew a lot of the information that they packed into the story. And when you listen to people who know Lori and talk about how she did in the interview, and especially with her son Colby, because Colby went over the interview and gave his thoughts, and that was a really good live stream. I recommend you guys go over there and watch what he had to say about his mom's interview. But like he said, if Lori was doing her usual rambling, they may have had to cut that interview up so much, because he was like me. He wanted to see a more lengthy interview done with Lori and just let Lori talk, but that wasn't going to happen. But
Wait, how old is his son?
Colby he's in his late 20s.
Oh, okay. See, I wasn't aware she had another child. I thought she
had a
did
son.
away with them all.
No, she
Maybe
had
about 30. I think he's about 30. I think he said something like being around 30.
He's in his late 20s. Yeah, Colby Ryan was her oldest child, and then she had Tylee, and then she adopted JJ. Harmed. Colby was already grown, 18 or above. So, but yeah, he has a YouTube channel, and he does a lot there. And he covered the hearing shit. Thank you, Joe, for putting his link in. He covered the interview, but I sat down and watched the whole thing. But then I fast forwarded and got just to where Keith was asking Lori questions. But I wrote down word for word every question he asked, and I wrote down word for word every answer she gave, because we cannot play it on a live. We will get struck by the Dateline people.
Yeah.
So I do have my transcript of the interview, but I haven't even just talked about it yet because I haven't had time. Like, I didn't stream yesterday. So
in the comments on the people on the replay crew from what we did yesterday, they said that one of those witnesses is Tylee's best friend. Lori is calling one of Tylee's best friends, if not her best friend,
That's
as a
really
defense
vile.
witness.
yeah, because we didn't even I didn't even finish looking at the list yet to even try to figure out who was who.
No,
and what
she's
was
a
what.
horrible creature. She's horrible.
Oh yeah, it's all gonna backfire on her. I do want to put together a pretty in-depth show, especially leading up to her trial, because it's starting up soon, right, Joe?
Yeah, we have we have a hearing in the morning to hear like 3 different motions. One of them is about cameras in the courtroom, and then a couple of other things. But jury selection is scheduled for March 31st, and I plan to be there
Yeah.
in person.
The Dateline producer was a way better source of information than the actual show. That's what Pokemon. So you watched it, Pokemon? Yeah. It was an interesting interview. Nothing she said or did shocked me because I've come to know as Lori. There were a few things that she said that weren't shocking. They were just surprising that she actually, because you could tell she wasn't there to be asked questions. She was there to tell her story. And that's basically what she wanted. Although her other past attorneys would never let her talk because they're smart. But she's going to say herself, Lori, you can talk. You're your own attorney. So she gave her big interview. But you could tell it was to get us to believe in her Jesus. It's my takeaway. She wanted me to leave that show believing in her Jesus and the things that her Jesus has told her. Because she's done went to heaven. And Jesus has shown her that her and Chad are both going to be exonerated. And they're going to go on and live another happy life together because they done lived about 30 lives together.
Well, Jesus has visited her in jail, right?
Yeah, Jesus and Tammy.
He stops in for coffee.
Yeah. Well, Lori's one of his favorites, so the rest of us are just SOL. But she said Tammy Daybell visits her. They're good friends. Like, what lady? Come on with this psycho stuff.
Jeez.
But yeah, she wants us all to believe that nobody was, murdered. Nobody was maliciously killed or any of that was going on. That this is what her Jesus wanted her to do. And we should all.
They're in a good place right now.
Yeah. I'm not going to believe in your Jesus, Lori. There's something wrong with your Jesus. He don't work like that. Not the one I know, anyway. He doesn't operate like Lori. So,
were you there? Were you there? Did you see it?
She kept saying that to Keith. Keith's like, "Well, we have it on video," And she's like, "But were you there?" Like, okay, now having it on video is not even good enough. And speaking of not good enough, I posted a little thing for members only. I'm going to post it. It's just my little thought about something. I've heard a lot of chatter lately on the YouTube streets about DNA on a movable object.
Oh, brother.
Lord.
Yeah.
From now on, anytime a crime is committed in America, whether a gun is used, a knife, a tire tool, a fucking screwdriver, if you leave it there, it doesn't even matter because it's a movable object. You can leave your DNA all over that weapon and leave it at the crime scene, but nobody can do anything with it because it's a movable object. Is that where we're at in this world now? Are we willing to accept that norm? I'm not. Throw out the sheath now because it's a movable object. I was like, I can't even with this. Not enough coffee in the world.
Yeah. Also, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was just gonna say there's a big confusion between inconclusive and saying that excludes somebody too. So whatever. Sorry.
No, you were getting ready to say pretty much the same thing I was, except that we talked last night, and I just said when it comes to what's going on with the DNA and then the statistics about, the inclusion or exclusion or whatever, I'm not listening to anybody's shows. I'm like, get me an expert on somebody's show.
Yes.
Exactly.
I want a scientist on someone's show, telling me about this. Because other than that, I'm not having that conversation with
because I don't want to hear, it's in the documents.
Yeah.
It says this. Well, yeah, but your interpretation might not be the same as my interpretation. And,
Yep.
Right.
I want an expert's interpretation.
Well, here's the thing. We're not going to be able to move to a point in this country where, I even heard a creator say, at this point, I need to see Brian Koberger coming and going from that house on camera. So are we now going to say we have to have every crime captured on a camera for you to believe it?
That's just moronic.
It is moronic.
Yeah.
Like saying, well, that shit doesn't matter. It's a movable object. Well, no shit, it's movable. So are all kinds of weapons that get left at crime scenes. So we're
Mhm.
going to take it off the table in Idaho. Then guess what? We got to do it across the board in the whole country. So we're done. We're all just going to be exposed to crime for the rest of our lives. Nothing we can do about it because it's a movable object. Don't, you know, aren't all weapons a movable object? I can't with some of this mentality.
Well, yeah.
I agree, Truth. I've always said people were screaming, why take his phone? Well, I think he probably had a plan once you consider
Hmm.
who he was, what he did for a living, what he was trying to do for a living, the schooling he was taking. There had to be a reason to take the phone because it was too easy to leave it on the nightstand and say, oops, I forgot it when I went for my drive. It's so easy to say that. But no, we took it for a reason. And Anne's got you going in a different direction. Okay, yeah, you probably did. And you turned your phone off and you left it and you turned around and went back the other direction.
I'm thinking that reason has to do with that 4:49 a.m. login.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why was it so important for him to log in at 4:49 a.m.? Was he trying to, like, cover his tracks about, something else, like tech related, and maybe he needed to do a remote login,
Yeah.
do something to log out of something, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, there's something definitely majorly weird about that 4:49
Oh, yeah.
a.m.
Definitely caught my interest. I'm just like,
Yep.
what is going on?
The only time I would pull over like that in the middle of, driving or whatever to do something on my phone is if I had to, I don't know, sell some stock or something. It's like something that, had
At
to be done.
4:49.
Well, not at 4:49 a.m., but you know what I'm saying? It's just like
Yeah.
if something that had to be done,
Yeah.
or whatever. I was on some deadline for something and had like, a minute to spare. Because I actually have done that, pulled over really quick to do that. But,
yeah.
hmm?
I do. I'll pull over to do stuff.
Yeah. But 4:49 a.m., I can't think of anything that, is that
Yeah.
important for me,
So that connected at 4:49. And I'm going to have to look at the map a little closer too on the alleged times he was traveling out of Moscow on the way back out. Like what time that phone pinged near Blaine. What, the times that it actually came back online.
4:48.
Like the minute before.
A minute before, right?
Mhm.
Yep.
And you know what? Another thing that I'm thinking of, because I have Norton 360 on my phone, so I do use my VPN
Yeah.
when I go out to public, areas and whatnot. And it's set for auto, right? Because I was thinking about that because somebody had said, "Oh, well, maybe it's set to come on automatically." Yeah, it comes on automatically when it's picking up a network that's unsecure or whatever. So if you're within range of a network, like say a Starbucks Wi-Fi, then it would automatically kick on, because they're like, oh, this is unsecure. So if he was out in the middle of nowhere, I don't see it automatically coming on. Because like where it was on that map, it's just like what? Trees out there or whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think there are even houses like right there close to that
But the
road.
login was like what, a minute before the phone reconnected or a minute after?
It was after the phone came on and then he logged in.
So the phone came back on at 4:48.
Yeah, start reporting back to the networks all of a sudden, mysteriously.
And then a minute later, he logs into his Apple account. Isn't that correct?
It wasn't Apple. It was his burner. It's like a burner Gmail. It's that username one.
Oh, the username account.
Using a VPN.
So he was logging out.
Actually, you know what? Let me test that. Hold on a second. So I'm sitting at home, right? And I've got my Wi-Fi on all the time, right? Let me turn it off. So no Wi-Fi. I'm just on cellular data. If I pull up Norton 360, where is my VPN? It's off. I can turn it on. Yes. To mask a cellular connection. Okay.
Okay. Well, also he was logging into a recovery account or something.
Well, the username email is a recovery email. So it's
Okay.
like on your Google account. Let's say that was this
Okay.
Brian, whatever. I forgot what the numbers were at the end, so, but you're like, oh, on your Google account, if you get locked out, you list a secondary recovery
Right,
email.
gotcha.
Same with like Facebook and other things like
Mhm.
that. So this username, whatever, that's something that they must have found in one of his other accounts as listed as a recovery email. But he's using that email for something else, for
Yeah.
his nefarious stuff.
For his
But yeah, so he was masking his cellular
Location.
IP and connection
Yeah.
with the VPN.
Trying to make it look like he was somewhere else.
I agree. There's a method to his madness.
Hmm.
Like I said,
I agree with you. That's why I think that's why he took his phone, to make it look like he left it somewhere else,
mm-hmm,
and
that would show that he was somewhere else other than where you claim he was.
right.
If he hadn't left that sheath, I'm not so sure they would have got to this guy.
Because isn't that allegedly, and we don't know this for a fact, but one of the first things he said to that first lawyer in Pennsylvania was, well, they have my phone, they have my GPS, they know where I was. So,
I
you
never
know what I
heard
mean?
that.
You never
No,
heard that?
No, all I heard was the attorney said he couldn't wait to be exonerated.
Oh, I'll have to find that, because I
And
know he
was
said that.
anybody else arrested?
Or
Yeah.
and was anybody else arrested?
We never heard that. I mean, it's still,
Mm-mm.
I don't know if it's true, but I'll have to find that.
Yeah, because I haven't heard that either. I have not. So, guys, thank you for coming in and hanging out with us today. And my little technical, I don't know what happened this morning with Restream. I had the whole stream was set up for a while, and then I went into the platform to start the stream, and it was saying it couldn't connect. Retried, and I'm like, "What? I got internet. What's going on here?" So I had to come back up to the old StreamYard here. So I got to go try to delete that other live, because otherwise it'll just be sitting there and everybody's gonna be like, "Why, that thing's over and it never even started."
Was it scheduled for a certain time?
Yeah, I mean, it was on time, but when I went to, and everything was working normally all morning, but for some reason, when I went back into Restream to start the show, it was telling me it couldn't connect to the platform. It was a connection issue, retry. And every time I hit retry, it would tell me the same thing. So I went on my phone, it was doing the same thing. I was like, screw this, I'm not even dealing with it today. And that's the first time that's ever happened using Restream. So I'm not really sure what their issue was. But yeah, it was scheduled up for 9 a.m. like normal, and I think I scheduled it up at like 5 a.m. this morning or something. So I don't know what happened, but at least we
I was just wondering, did the time change mess with their servers?
It shouldn't have. Did the time change yesterday?
It changed Sunday, yesterday.
Oh yeah,
I don't pay
we
attention.
lost. We lost an hour.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't know that? Okay, that might be part of your problem, huh?
No, I mean, all my devices set.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah, it's got nothing to do with that. I'm not a clock and calendar person because I don't really give a rat's ass. But I did recall this morning when the kids went to leave, my grandson noticed it was still dark outside. And I heard him say to his dad, "Why is it dark outside?" And my son said, "Because the time changed." And I thought, did time change? And I just didn't know it. Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, you weren't the only one, because the microwave and the oven clocks are still wrong. I walked by them and I was like,
Yeah.
"Whoa."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your car clock too. Your car clock too.
Because guess what? This Florida summer girl is about to hit summer wide open, and it will not be dark in my neck of the woods till 8:30 at night, and I'll be happy as a freaking clam.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Warm and sunny and long, bright days. That's me. I can't stand this short, cold winter stuff. I hate it with a passion.
Oh, you're right. 7:42 today for sunset. Thank God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
The 6:30 is for the birds.
Yep. I don't like it. I don't like going from 8:30 in the summer, getting dark, till 5:30 in the winter, 5 o'clock. It's like, man, come on. No wonder I'd be sleeping all the damn time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All I want to do is eat and sleep, eat and sleep. I wake up, I'm wanting to go eat. And which for me is a good thing. I'm a tiny little person, but it doesn't matter. I can't never gain any weight. But Man, if I could gain weight, I'd probably be so huge right now, and I wouldn't even care. Like I'm just like constantly wanting to wake up and eat. That's all I'm doing.
Arizona is the lone anomaly, though. So that's where I'm at right now for the Lori
y'all
Vallow
don't
Daybell
finish time
trial.
over there.
With the
So
whole
we went from being on Mountain Time to being on Pacific Time because we didn't change our clocks and everybody else sprung forward. So Salty's 7 o'clock live today, or 10 o'clock live today was 7 o'clock for me, and I'm like, oh shit, 7
look here
o'clock is early.
I can't go accommodating everybody's times. I just do what
Right?
I do. I'm on
so the whole
Central
state
Time.
doesn't change time.
Exactly. Yeah. No,
wow,
the
okay.
entire state of Arizona stays on the same
Arizona
time year round.
Yeah, they've never changed. That's why everybody's.
I thought I heard recently that somebody's thinking of doing away with the time changes. Anyways, is that?
Well, they've been talking about it for
The
a couple of
U.S.
years
Yeah,
now.
they've been talking about it.
They've been talking about it for like 30 years now.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's been a hot and heavy topic for a while. They said President Trump's going to do something about it. I don't know. I couldn't tell you what's going on over there in the White House. I don't even pay attention. I haven't paid attention in the past 4, 5, 6 years. I'm so over it all. Like I don't care. I don't care what time it is. I don't like clocks. Time doesn't matter to me. That's the way I live my life these days. I earned it. So yeah, a seasonal affect disorder is very real, and I suffer from it bad. That's why y'all won't hear me complaining this summer, because I'll complain all winter, and I can't be that person to complain all winter and all summer. It's like that's the grumpy old man. Stop it. I can't stand
Yeah,
that.
the darkness is depressing. Like I have to have all the like, window blinds open and
Yes.
stuff. Like nothing more depressing to me than being in the dark all day.
Oh, my son is the opposite. He's like, why do you got all these windows open? Like, dude, I gotta have sunlight. So by the time he comes home toward the evening, that ain't happening no more. I make sure his little living room windows are all like, your dungeon is your dungeon. You have at it. But when I am not me, I gotta have my sunlight and stuff. I don't feel right. I don't feel right if I don't get it. So anyway. Yeah. So you guys screws up your deer hunting. All right, you sound like my daddy now. But the thing about it is, here where we're at, Texas, when we wrap up hunting season, we get to roll right into fishing season. Ain't nothing better. Yep. So we're getting ready for our fishing weather. We're all gearing up to get our fishing stuff ready to go.
I feed my deer. No hunting gear.
Yeah, I don't
I think
even.
I've got them trained now. They come to the front door, wake me up at like 5 something in the morning, and then they go around to the back door, and set off that one.
Well, that's perfect for a bow hunter to sit right outside there, right?
Yeah, my daddy's a bow hunter and a
Not
gun
this close to
hunter.
the house,
Right.
right outside my door.
I have some in the back field. I mean, it's weird because not weird, but being raised around deer all my life, men who just think that is the best thing in the world to eat. I do not eat it. I do not eat my spirit animal.
No. I'm feeding the squirrels too because they're coming down to
Right.
steal
Don't do that.
corn.
I don't do.
They're bold. I opened the door. I saw one on the camera right on the front steps. I opened the door. He didn't move. He turned, looked over his shoulder, and then moved a few feet, and then like kind of tried to half hide behind a bush. And I was like, I still see you, And he just sat there. I said, "Wow, that squirrel are definitely bold."
Yeah.
The baby squirrels are the best because they're like, if you hold out the feed for them, they'll like come up and they'll like get really close, but then they'll be like, I don't think I should. Mom told me I shouldn't, but I really want to, but mom said I couldn't.
We have a bunch of squirrels around here in my aunt's old yard. When I lived with my cousin helping take care of my aunt, we would go sit in the back. It was back during the pandemic still, so we was always at home. But we go sit in the backyard, and we just had, I couldn't even tell you how many damn squirrels we had back there. But she and I would sit out there for hours and just get comic relief from the squirrels. But we had a few that would come all the way up to us because they knew we would come out and feed them. But we had one we called Stubby because he had lost part of his tail somehow. We weren't sure how that happened. But Stubby was cute. But yeah, if they are around you long enough, they will come right up to you and they'll crawl right up on you and get the food. Like, I'm not trying to get you to crawl on me though. Like, I'll put something out there, you go get it, but don't crawl on me.
Yeah, I've got a video I have to put in Discord. One crawled up the back Ring doorbell on the sunroom, and and now I've noticed we have raccoon around, right? Too.
Yeah.
Like one crawled across the patio at about 4 something in the morning the other night, and I was like, oh, got all kinds of critters back here.
My daddy's cooked squirrels before Texas. For a girl raised up on the rivers and around these wildlife, I don't eat that wild game stuff.
Yeah, I leave squirrels alone too.
Yeah, look, I can't. My dad's tried to trick me into eating stuff for years, and
Oh no.
they know I don't eat their game. But I'm down for some fish, and I'm ready. All right, guys. Well, with that said, I've made myself really hungry now, so I'm gonna go get myself some lunch. Get back into some other stuff here this afternoon.
Stefan Stearns. There's a few unredacted interviews.
Yeah, there's some
that we've seen, and now they've unredacted.
Yeah, and I've got Joe's got a PDF. Joe had some files sent to him, and I kind of started going through that. I don't know if what Joe just got is what just got released. I think what he got came to him, and then this other got released right after. But I am putting that together as well, because there's some new information in those interviews, like you said, that weren't redacted, that we didn't hear before. So that's probably what I'll do. And I checked, was it day before yesterday? I checked his docket, and I need to check it again this morning, because we do have a hearing coming up with that. Anyway, so I'll be getting together some stuff on that as well. And I'll go over to Plunder's Patreon and see what I can find too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because sometimes I'll buy PDFs from her. It depends. I need to do a FOIA myself on some particular stuff on Stearns, especially the newer stuff. But I know that there was another 711 photos just released, and I went through most of the ones that Joe had, but I don't know if they're the same ones that just dropped. So that's going to be my kind of, I got that actually as a note here to finish going through my stuff on Stearns stuff. So that will probably be a topic for tomorrow's show. Joe, are you going live in the morning at any time?
Yeah, I probably will. But if I go live, it's going to be really early, because Lori's hearing is at 8:30, so we plan on getting there at the courthouse by at least 8. That's Pacific time, so that's 11 o'clock your time. So I might do something like really early, and then once I get to the courthouse, I might go live for like 10 minutes from the actual courthouse, because they don't open the doors until 8 o'clock. So we're probably going to get in line a little bit before that, 10 minutes before that. So I might go live from right in front of the courthouse in Maricopa County,
That's
downtown
10
Phoenix.
her time. She's in Central. We're in Eastern.
Right. Yeah. So we're in Pacific. So, gosh darn it. I got to do math. You're making me do math.
Yep.
Like
she's only 2
simple
hours
addition. Right. So 8 o'clock my time is 11 o'clock Eastern. So like 10 minutes before that, I may go live, like 10 minutes before they open the doors.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll figure out what time I'll go.
Yeah,
live.
we'll figure it out. Yeah, I'll post notices.
Because I'm
You'll see
still,
it.
I'll still be doing my usual. When I stream in the mornings, I'm ready to go by 9. Because I'm usually
9.
up by 4 at the latest, 5 at the latest. Actually, between 4 and 5, I'm usually up in the mornings. But we can work things out. Yeah,
Yeah, no, I'll probably be driving and on the road by 7 o'clock my time, which is 9 o'clock your time. So I probably won't go live before that.
Yeah, like wait till you get back from the hearing and then set up a live and about what happened. Yeah, that sounds good.
Yep.
All right, guys. So I'll schedule something up for in the morning. And like I said, like Dolphin mentioned, there is some newer stuff that come down in the Stearns case, and I do want to get those interviews and get the best cleaned up version that I can get. And I can usually find those on Patreon. Between her and the docket, I'll find it from somebody. All right, guys. With that said, I'm gonna let you guys go. Have a great day. Thanks for being here. If you don't mind, hit the thumbs up button for me. It helps us out. Because I did notice that on the analytics that I was talking about earlier before I got sidetracked, appears that a lot of the traffic being driven to the channel now is because it's being pushed to the algorithm. So it's helping. And I appreciate that from you guys, because if it wasn't for you guys tuning in, hitting the like button, and commenting in the comment section, all of that, shows we're having an active stream, and that, YouTube likes that. So shame on you, Jeff. That needs to be the first thing you do, not the last. Yeah, I'll see what Jeff thinks. But I appreciate it. So yeah, if you guys don't mind hitting the like button, it really helps us out. And until then, I'll see you guys tomorrow, and we'll work on some content for tomorrow's show. Everybody have a great day.
Alrighty, thanks, you too.